What's up, everybody? We're live right now. Rhino and I, we're here. Hopefully you guys can hear me right this second. We're actually upstairs in the Xtra 106.3 studios. What you're hearing right now live on the stream is the Fox News play out of all the top headlines for Fox News. We're going to eliminate that from YouTube for you guys for just a couple minutes. We're going to get started with the stream right here at about 12:05. Like I said, we're upstairs in Rhino's studios. He's right there. You can see him. He's working hard, typing away, doing all kinds of stuff. We're going to have the chat up on the computers here. Him and I will both be watching. If you guys want to be a part of the show, give us a call. 404-741-1230 is the phone number here in the studio up here. We'd love to hear you. We're going to be talking about the reaction to the media, well, the media's reaction to the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict that came out Friday afternoon and all of the misinformation and headlines that we've been seeing over the last 48 hours. Get ready. About 2 minutes out, we're going to get started. 404-741-1230. We'll be right back with you guys right after this break. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Give us just a minute. We're going to be live with you guys here in just a second. We're waiting for a commercial break to finish up. As soon as that break finishes up, we'll be live with you guys right here. Me and Rhino, our reaction to the media's reaction of the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict.
The Rhino Conspiracy Podcast. Available now by downloading the Xtra 106.3 app for Apple or Android.
Black Americans seem biased system in Rittenhouse verdict. This is the best strategy we have against extremism and misinformation. There's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. These are some of the headlines you will see the media putting out, whether it's CNN, MSNBC, or even AP News. I'm your host, Scott Rhino. This is the Rhino Conspiracy.
The Rhino Conspiracy.
Good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock on Sunday. We're here at Xtra 106.3, and I appreciate everybody who's listening. We're actually live in studio today. We're also live on YouTube at the Xtra 106.3 and Freedom Flashpoint with my friend who I'm bringing in today. He was in Kenosha all week. His name is Adam Junger, so we'll talk to him in a little bit as well. And I'm going to tell you about everything going on, but first I have to tell you about my friends over at 1776united.com. 1776united.com has the best historical and patriotic apparel you can buy. Whether it's t-shirts, whether it's hats, whether it's even their cool flannels. By the way, flannels selling out quick, so you need to get to 1776united.com right now. Check out the flannels. Get your size now because they will be going away very soon. They also have hats, mugs, and coffee and everything else that you need. 1776united.com. Use the promo code XTRA 106.3 and you'll receive 15% off your order. One of the mugs that I have, I love it. In fact, it's right here. I'm going to grab it real quick. This is the mug that I have. It says, when the government fears the people, there is liberty. And look at this mug. This mug is fantastic. It's a great mug. Also, you can get in touch with us today because we are live at 404-741-1230. We will take your calls, 404-741-1230. Also, download our app, Xtra 106.3. You can find it in the Apple Store, the iTunes Store, or in the Amazon or whatever. I don't even know the other one because all I do is use Apple anyway. I'm not going to lie to you about it. All right, let's get right into this because this has been the major story, and it's been a story that is just not going to go away for a while, and part of that reason is because of what's going on with the media bias in this. And this is a very, very disturbing case for a lot of people, but it's funny how it's being spun around, and it's being spun around everywhere you look. And one of the first things, and first of all, I want to bring in Adam Jungers now. Adam, of course, is a friend of mine. He runs Freedom Flashpoint, the Citizen Stringer Media app as well. Adam, tell everybody about all your platforms.
Yes, you can find us. We are on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, at Freedom Flashpoint. You can also find us at citizenstringer.tv as well, where we have 24-hour broadcasting of citizens that are on the ground just reporting factual news.
Yeah, and this started out pretty much with Steve Oatley, who has been great with us as well and helped us with a lot of the Trump rallies. So a lot of our listeners who are listening on Xtra 106.3 right now, they know that we broadcasted the Trump rally from Perry, Georgia, but you guys also went up and broadcasted the Iowa for us as well. So Steve Oatley and you have been doing this for a while, and it started with a lot of coverage of riots, and that's what we're talking about today as well, because after this verdict, they took to the streets again.
Yeah, so, and that's something exactly where we started at. We saw a niche last year where people were hitting the streets and there was destruction all around America, and we said that we wanted to get the word out about it. Mainstream media wasn't covering it, and we wanted to make sure that Americans saw what was happening in their cities.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that people, because the media is ignoring all of this, and we have guys like you and tons of other streamers out there that are doing a good job, that are getting this done for us. So we're going to get directly right into this. Again, you can call 404-741-1230. I open it up to differing opinions all the time, and I welcome you in, because if you feel different, if you feel like that there is misinformation, I'd love to hear from you. And I'd also like to know why, if you don't think this case was cut and dry like everybody else, that what was your reasoning? Why do you believe this wasn't against self-defense? And what do you really know about this trial? Did you watch the trial? Because I know Adam was up in Kenosha, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but this all really started to fall apart once it became the seventh day of the trial, because when the prosecutor started putting people on the stand, that's where everybody started to hear, wait a minute, this is a really good self-defense by Rittenhouse's lawyers, Mark Richards and everybody else that was on the defense. They had a really good case for a self-defense verdict, and that's where it ended up being, because he was acquitted on all 5 counts. He was found not guilty. So I'm going to start it off because Judge Bruce Schroeder, this is the first part of a lot of misinformation, and we're going to talk about that a lot, but it really started getting interesting during jury deliberation when he decided he needed to kick MSNBC out of the courtroom. Here's Bruce Schroeder on it.
I have instructed that no one from MSNBC News will be permitted in this building. for the duration of this trial. This is a very serious matter, and I don't know what the ultimate truth of it is, but absolutely it would go without much thinking that someone who is following the jury bus, that is that's extremely serious matter.
Okay, so if you haven't heard about this or the reasoning for it, he talked about it at the end. So they were following a bus transporting the 12-person jury that was deliberating on this trial. It was a freelance producer. His name is James J. Morrison. He ran a red light. That's what got him caught. He ran the red light while chasing this jury bus. And like Schroeder said, this is a very serious matter. I mean, this is not a joke. The police said a person who was alleging to be affiliated with a national media outlet was briefly taken into custody and issued several traffic-related citations, obviously doing that by running a red light. The police suspect this person was trying to photograph jurors. Think about how dangerous that is. Adam, we also know while you were on the ground, you said you saw some posters and some stuff with jury information on that as well. Doxing, that's a term. Can you explain what doxing means to people who might not know?
So a lot of times these protesters, or if you want to call them activists without a cause, what they do is they will take photos of people that are there, in this case, people that were supporting Kyle Rittenhouse. On those steps. And what they were doing is taking those photos home that night and doing as much research as they could, digging through, trying to find any information about these people, finding out where they live, finding out where they work, who employs them, and basically attacking them from every side that they can. And what they do is they take that information and they publish it out to the internet for everybody to see and let the social justice warriors take hand at it. Okay, and did we see doxing when the jury was leaving, when they were going to their personal cars? Because the jury wasn't sequestered at all, were they? And were you able, while you were in Kenosha, to see the jurors leaving the courthouse? So I was not actually able to see them leaving the courthouse. Kenosha sheriffs did an amazing job at protecting the jury and making sure that they didn't have people following them, which was surprising to me as to why MSNBC would have even tried to take after them at all. I mean, they had an escort, they had sheriffs around that bus. So it just seemed a little bit strange altogether to me that you would be that brazen in your attempts to try and contact them. Yeah, it's been an amazing story, and all of this misinformation that continues to go on. I want to continue with the judge because we really don't have a lot of time today. We like to break this down. We could do this for probably 4 to 5 hours. Unfortunately, I only have an hour, and in radio, that means 43 minutes, to be honest with you. But I want to go ahead and I want to play this cut because this I found earlier today. And this really, it was out from last night, and I want to tell you about these people. This is MSNBC host Tiffany Cross. She has with her a gentleman by the name of Elie Mystal. Elie Mystal. I like to call him Elie Weasel. Like Eli Wiesel, but whatever. Listen to this cut. It's about a minute long, but listen to all this that they come with.
I find these people disgusting, Ellie. I'm disgusted at what I'm seeing. It's not just this trial, it's other trials. But this in particular, the fact that white supremacists roam the halls of Congress freely and celebrate this little murderous white supremacist, and the fact that he gets to walk the streets freely, it lets you know these people have access to instituting laws. They represent the legislative branch of this country. What are we to make of that?
Welcome to the modern Republican Party. This is what these people want, and this is what a majority of white people vote for. Right? When I say that a majority of white people are in favor of this kind of violence, it is because a majority of white people consistently vote Republican. Since the passage of the Civil Rights Act, a majority of white people have voted Republican, right? So, this is the party that they're supporting. A majority of white people pick judges like Bruce Schroeder, the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. A majority of white people do not support policies that would unpack and unroll and reform this system of justice. This is what they want. Matt Gaetz is giving the white folks what they want. Look at it. Look at yourselves. It's gross. But until a majority of you stop voting for this, this will keep happening.
This will keep happening. This is a racist statement, and the gentleman is black, as far as I know, just by what I've seen on the screen, and I assume that is correct. But during that entire thing, he goes and spouts off false information about Republicans and white men electing this judge to do this trial. Here we go. This is exactly the reason why this has become a complete mess, Adam. And part of it is because here's the truth. 75-year-old Rittenhouse judge, Judge Bruce Schrader. All right, so Schrader was appointed in 1983. Who was he appointed by? Not a white Republican, by a Democratic governor. That's exactly who he was absolutely appointed by. But not only that, I want to tell you a little bit more about that. The judge was very active in politics, especially with the Democratic Party of Wisconsin throughout the 1970s. Kenosha County coordinator of the 1974 re-election campaign of U.S. Senator Gaylord Nelson. Mr. Mistal, or Ellie, whatever your name is, look it up. Look up what that governor's name was and who he was as well. This is a judge who is being labeled as a conservative and as a racist, as a white supremacist. And Adam, we've heard the white supremacist thing a lot in this case, no?
Yeah, and here's the strange part is that, as I stood on the courthouse steps there in Kenosha starting on Monday, I arrived there Monday right before the jury started to deliberate. I had a chance to speak with some of the protesters that were there, and that's what they referred to Kyle as, was a white supremacist, a KKK member, anything to label him as a racist, right? And I had a chance to ask them, what made them feel that way? What was it that made them feel that he was racist? And I couldn't get a clear answer from anybody that was there. And that was kind of the more interesting thing to me, is that they weren't familiar with the case. A lot of them didn't seem to believe that Kyle Rittenhouse didn't shoot any black people.
No. And you know what, though? In their defense, they can read the headlines. John Blake and CNN, there's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. That's a headline on CNN. Here's another one from Chicago AP. Black Americans see biased system in Rittenhouse verdict. That's AP News. Here's another CNN. This is Nicole Hemmer. The best strategy we have against extremism and misinformation, and then goes on. In fact, I want to... Glenn Greenwald, who he was on with, I believe, Dan Bongino. And he was talking, and this is a quote from him. I was infuriated that everything I had been taught to believe by the media was radically different than the facts of the case as they developed. I sat down, I looked at the evidence at the trial before forming a judgment. Wow, that's actually kind of responsible. Now, he goes on to say, and he's not in the country at the point, but multiple media outlets around the world, like the biggest ones in Brazil, in Holland, in the UK, have all repeatedly reported that the people that Kyle Rittenhouse killed were black, white, because they were misled by the American media, who kept saying this was a white supremacist on a terrorist hunt. And therefore, they naturally presumed, because they were, again, deceived by the American people, that his victims were black. That's why. You don't read into the story. All those headlines will tell you one thing only, right?
Let's go back to the one that you brought up first, CNN's headline. Now, that headline that you brought up was actually the main page of CNN.com last night.
Yeah.
I opened up CNN.
Are you talking about there's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man?
Right. And the picture that we can't that people can't see through the radio, the picture was Kyle Rittenhouse standing there holding an AR-15.
Yep. And that's where this all started, when President Biden was not in government, okay? So we got to remember, he was not a politician at the time. He made a comment and put up a picture about white supremacy, and that's where all the misinformation started. So if you want to blame these riots, which we'll talk about a little bit later here on Xtra 106.3, you can also blame the now president of the United States, then a candidate for presidency, or you can blame the media. I want to go more on this judge because we're about up on a break here, but I want to go a little bit more into this, okay? One of the biggest decisions that he made that drew criticism was dismissing the misdemeanor weapons possession charge over Rittenhouse carrying an AR-15. That was one of the easiest for the prosecutors to prove. So now the media is taking this and running with it. Here's the problem. They're saying, why would they dismiss this misdemeanor? Here's the thing. The only one to blame is the DA's office, Adam. Is that true? Yes, because they should know the law in Wisconsin. And the law in Wisconsin is that it is legal, not illegal, it is legal for an underage person to carry a rifle if it is not a short-barreled rifle, correct?
Correct. And a lot of people are forgetting this. This is part of the big narrative that the media is lying to people on, is that they're telling everybody he crossed state lines with a loaded weapon. His mother drove him over there. He was looking for trouble, right? That's the entire narrative that you're hearing from, insert three-letter name there, right? Sure. Interestingly, though, none of that's true.
No, it's not true.
Not a single bit of it.
Yeah, in fact, it was a 1991 bill that allows minors to own rifles that do not have short barrels. All they had to do, Thomas Binger, who's the assistant DA, was make the call, hey, I have an idea, grab a tape measure, let's measure this gun. Let's see if he can actually carry it or not.
Scott, this was all political. All of these charges should never have been filed in the first place. When you look at the facts of the case, it doesn't take a genius to see that this was self-defense right off the bat. He shouldn't have been charged. This became political. Kenosha received pressure. The DA received pressure. The political pressure was there, and they charged him.
Yep, and they shouldn't have charged him, and that's the problem. We're going to have to look into who made this decision. Was it the DA who didn't want to touch this? Maybe he didn't have enough evidence. Maybe he didn't want to touch this, and maybe Thomas Binger said, hey, no, I've got enough. I can do this. Allow me, because he's an assistant DA, to press charges and go ahead and do the prosecution of this case. Or did Thomas Binger just get stuck with it because of political pressure? We won't know. That won't come out, and I'm sure they're not going to go. A few more things about this judge, and then we're going to take a quick break. It's amazing to me that this group, the people that are complaining about hatred, complaining about what they call white supremacy, these are the things that the judge received. Here are some emails he received from people all over the world, really. Here's one, quote, wow, way to name a white skinhead, hot head to be a judge. No wonder they burned down your city. Wow. The judge, okay, the jury, the defendant. It's white supremacy in action. That was Representative Cori Bush of Missouri saying that. She put that out on Twitter. There's a lot more about him being a racist as well. One of them, I didn't know that under your black robes of justice, you wear a white robe of the Klan. There's no way a fair trial can be heard under your supervision. Better yet, resign. There is nothing in this case that is about race or stereotyping or white supremacy.
Joseph Rosenbaum was walking around on the streets using the N-word.
Oh, well, he's a Black Lives Matter
at a Black Lives Matter protest.
Wow. Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about these protests. We're going to talk about that as well. We're up against a break. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back listening to Xtra 106.3. This is the Rhino Conspiracy. I am your host, Scott Rhino. I am the host of the morning show right here on Xtra 106.3, Monday through Friday, with my co-hosts, Mark Zinno and Tug Cowart. You can follow us. You can download our app, Xtra 106.3. We don't have the best and we don't have the greatest signal in Atlanta, but we try. You know, we're a little limp. We have a little bit of Viagra for you. You can download our app and the App Store, whether it's the Google Play Store or the iOS Store. You can download the app. You can listen anytime, anywhere. The Rhino Conspiracy, I'm trying to get everybody to put that up on the app. They're working on it. It should be done within the next week, but you'll be able to download this show as well. You can listen to the best conservative lineup in radio. We have Glenn Beck, followed by Clay Travis and Buck Sexton. After them, we get Guy Benson, Jesse Kelly's show, and then overnights with Jimmy Fallon, then Coast to Coast, one of my favorite, with George Norrie. That's the real conspiracy theory. So if you want to hear about Bigfoot and ghosts and all that, you can tune in to George Norrie on Coast to Coast. If you're a cool kid, they just call it Coast now, so that's pretty cool. But you can join us there as well. And you can always download the app and listen to all that as well. You can get to Twitter at Rhino, RHINO XTRA 106.3. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find us there. We'll be right back on the Rhino Conspiracy right after we take this quick and fun commercial break.
Fox on Tech.
Want to take a tour of the ancient religious sanctuary of Olympia when the Olympic Games were held and not leave your house? Now you can. Thanks to a partnership between Microsoft and Greece's Ministry of Culture and Sport, you can take a virtual tour through one of the world's major archaeological sites. The ministry helped Microsoft map, then virtually build the site used for nearly 1,000 years to host the Games in ancient Greece, which served as the inspiration of the current Olympics. The software giant spent 18 months surveying the area with drones and sensors to build the virtual environment, investing up to $1 billion. They also built 3 data centers as part of the deal. In a video message about the launch, Microsoft President Brad Smith said this helped, quote, bring technology and culture and history together so we can preserve it. Visit in person, and you can pop on a Microsoft HoloLens or simply see it come to life on a smartphone or tablet. With Fox on Tech, Brett Larson, Fox News.
America's talking to Fox News.
All right, everybody, we're in the middle of a commercial break. Like we said, we're up here doing our live broadcast today from the Xtra 106.3 studios. We're up here with Scott Rhino. He is recording his show that is live right now at 12 noon on Xtra 106.3 in Atlanta. If you guys are there, if you want to download the app and listen through that way, or you can tune in and listen to our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch at Freedom Flashpoint, or go to citizenstringer.tv and sign up for a membership there. You can find my show. You can find Wake Up America, the podcast, every night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time there, as well as Freedom Flashpoint, as well as Pete Santilli. Please tune in there. Check us out there as well. We will be right back as soon as this commercial break is over. Remember, if you want to be part of the conversation today, give us a call, 404-741-1230, to join us on the program right here in Atlanta at the Xtra 106.3 studios. We'll be right back with you guys.
Podcast. Available now by downloading the Xtra 106.3 app for Apple or Android.
Welcome back to the Rhino Conspiracy. I am your host, Scott Rhino. I am here with a friend of mine. His name is Adam Jungers. You can follow him at Real Adam Jungers, Jungers, on Twitter. You can also find him at the Freedom Flashpoint on YouTube, Citizen Stringer app, and also Wake Up America podcast. You can find him as well. Adam was in Kenosha, Wisconsin, covering the outdoor events that we unfolded, and Adam is actually only one of the people. And we're speaking about media bias in the Rittenhouse verdict as well. And Adam was one of the, I think, and you can confirm this for me, Adam, were you the only one who had video of the BLM protester who attacked the woman with the sign and then threw down the photographer that came to her aid?
So I was actually the only person with a live video of it. We were broadcasting that live. Everybody else had videos, and they were kind of uploaded later and didn't really have a clear shot. The woman who was attacked was actually standing about 6 feet in front of me when she was attacked. You can find that video on my Twitter page. I retweeted it a couple days ago. I'll retweet it now for you guys if you want to find that there. But she was attacked by a counter-protester. She was there in support of Kyle Rittenhouse. She was holding up a sign, and that sign said, "Self-defense is not a crime."
Wow, that's so exactly. So that was what was going on outside of the events, and we're going to get a little bit more into the protests as well. Once again, this is the Rhino Conspiracy. You can call us live. We are live in Atlanta right now. It is 12:30. Football is coming up, and I understand that. And I know people want to watch football at 1 o'clock, but the good thing about Atlanta right now is Atlanta is off today. they will score just as many points as they did on Thursday night today, which is 0 points. So you have nothing to watch, no reason to watch football. You should be watching this live on YouTube at Xtra 106.3 at Freedom Flashpoint, and you should be watching it live on those YouTube channels, or at least listening to it on the app at Xtra 106.3. You can download the app, and you can be listening right here. You can call in, be a part of the show, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. All right, I want to get into the beginning of all this misinformation. And there's only one person that we can blame because of the misinformation, and that person is the President of the United States currently, and his name is Joe Biden. So here's where it all went wrong, because this is what one of the headlines I read today. Rittenhouse verdict puts Biden in difficult political spot. No, the verdict did not. Biden put himself in a difficult political spot. I'm big on changing headlines. So that's what it should have read, was Biden puts himself in difficult political spot with inflammatory comments about Rittenhouse, right? Here is one of the things, Christopher Borick, he works with the, I believe he's with, I don't know, it's a college, of course it is, and his quote is, race and Kyle Rittenhouse is not the space where he wants or needs to be going deep right now. Race. There's no race involved in this. This was all about white people. And that's the other funny thing, because people are complaining that there weren't enough blacks to defend black lives on the jury. What you need to remember about this case, it was in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The people that live in that area are also the jurors, are they not, Adam?
They are, and Kenosha is not a very big town.
It's not big.
A big county, but the town itself is fairly small.
Okay, so, and this wasn't about race, right? So the people that we know, so when we talk about, they like to call JoJo, Joseph Rosenbaum. He was not black, was he?
No, white.
No, he was white. Anthony Huber.
White.
Okay, Gage Grosskreutz.
White.
Okay, so there was no blacks.
No.
Okay, so then they did get a trial by their peers, right?
Correct.
Those are the people. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's right, because that's all I've heard is that there weren't enough black jurors, which makes no sense to me.
Well, and I heard that the entire jury was white supremacists, and there was a black man, I believe, on the jury. He must feel pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, he's just like, hey, looking around, go, you know what? And this was a unanimous decision. So, but yeah, the other thing is that they have to remember, the people that were on this jury, they watched for 3 nights from August 23rd to August 25th as their livelihood, as their stores, as their homes, and as the streets of Kenosha were lit on fire, windows broken. I mean, you watched, and that's what, we talked about it earlier, Freedom Flashpoint, Steve Oatley with Wake Up America and the Citizen Stringer app. Those are the only outlets that really showed what was going on the 3 nights prior to August 25th. Adam, can you go over what was going on and why Kyle Rittenhouse decided he needed to go and help in that community?
So you have to remember that in May of 2020, we came out of a huge time where protests all around the nation were erupting due to the George Floyd situation there in Minneapolis. We also had the Breonna Taylor situation in Louisville, Kentucky. We had just had a situation here in Atlanta with Rashard Brooks as well. So there was a big tense situation going on all around the country. There's a large racial divide that was happening in the media, as we're talking about today, is largely to blame for this. Kyle Rittenhouse first started going out to downtown Kenosha to help clean up the graffiti. He started to go out there and help clean up the streets after they were destroyed on the first night of protests.
Yeah, but that doesn't count, right? That doesn't show anything except the character, and they didn't want that. They wanted to show him as a white supremacist.
Again, I still am struggling to figure out how he could be a white supremacist when he only shot white people.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean,
I know.
Yeah, I don't.
He's never been spotted in a militia meeting or a KKK outing. He's never been spotted, throwing up a symbol for white power. So I'm still struggling to see this. Now, I had a chance in speaking with some of those people in Kenosha why they thought that. Mm-hmm. Their answer to me, Scott, was if he had been black, the situation would have been 100% different. He wouldn't even be on trial. They would have thrown the book at him. He'd be guilty, guilty, guilty.
Yeah, and I'm going to get into that here in a little bit because a lot of that is in some of these other headlines. So getting back to the president, this was his comments, okay? This was his comment the other day.
I stand by what the jury has concluded. The jury system works.
Okay, so the jury system works, right? That's what he said. I stand by what the jury has concluded. Now, he did go on to make another statement. Did you hear what he said after that?
I did not know.
He said that we need to keep looking into this and that this was a misjustice and we need to do better with all of this. So he went on to say he stands by the jury, but then says the jury made the wrong decision in this case. It's an amazing, and this is his exact quote. Like many Americans, I am angry and concerned with the jury acquittal of Rittenhouse. This contradicts and increases the division and lack of faith in our justice system. This is exactly what the president did from the beginning of this trial. From the beginning of this trial, before he was president, made inflammatory comments about it being white supremacy. I don't blame black people in America for being upset because the media has allowed them to be lied to, and they've lied about everything in this case. This is why I lose my voice. This is why my voice, by the way, because now I'm getting upset. Anyway, it literally contradicts and increases the division. Now, I want to go ahead and play what a real president said earlier yesterday.
I think that it was a great decision. I was surprised it had to go this far. Somebody should have ended it earlier, and frankly, the case should have never been brought. It was prosecutorial misconduct, in my opinion, and there's plenty of it going on in this country right now. It was disgraceful.
Okay, that's what a real president should say. And of course, that was number 45. That was President Donald Trump. That was a great thing. I want to go on, and he also went on to say this.
I think somebody told him what to say, because how can you be angry when you see justice? That was justice. And I don't know Kyle. I watched him testify, which is very unusual that somebody would testify. I thought it was brave. I thought it was great that he testified. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, and of course he had to testify because this was a self-defense trial. And Adam, what was one of the big things we heard about him crying on the stand?
Oh, we heard it was a show, that this was all fake. He was out there. He was forcing those tears. This was not real, and it just shows, how guilty he is, right? That's what everyone was saying. Those are tears of guilt.
These are tears of guilt. LeBron James even weighed in, and this is somebody who cries every time someone touches him on a basketball court.
You're getting me excited when I thought about the LeBron James. Now I'm going to lose my voice, because when I saw that tweet from LeBron James, I'm going, there's no way. What pedestal do you have to stand on? Mister, I cry literally anytime anybody breathes on me hard enough on the basketball court.
Right. President Donald Trump went on to say this.
If you're talking about innocence based on self-defense, this was the poster boy. I think he would have been dead if he had waited a quarter of a second when that gun was pointed at his head. That guy was going to pull that trigger. And literally, you're talking about less than a second.
And that guy, of course, they're talking about is Gage Grosskreutz. Adam, what do you know about Gage Grosskreutz?
So let me tell you about this. This is something I think that the defense missed on big time, is that the prosecution tried to paint Gage as this hero, somebody who was out there, a licensed paramedic. He was a real medic on the scene, really offering help when they tried to paint Kyle Rittenhouse as some sort of fake person out there trying to help people too. Gage Grosskreutz, he approached Kyle Rittenhouse while Kyle was on the ground. He pointed a gun at him before he was shot. Now, here's the interesting thing, is that the defense didn't take an opportunity. If you're a licensed paramedic, Scott, there is a national database that has every licensed paramedic's registration in it. You have to be registered in the state of Wisconsin to have that position there. If you to go ahead and take a look, Grosskreutz was not licensed as a paramedic, at least not in the last 6 years.
Yeah, no, and he wasn't. And he didn't have a permit for the gun.
Oh, yeah, well, exactly. He was carrying a gun illegally. A lot of people forget about that. And he pointed it in Kyle Rittenhouse's face. I mean, you point a gun at someone else's face and don't expect to be shot. I don't understand that.
Yeah, and not to mention, he was holding it, and what he had was a pistol. So a lot of the things that were being said was, why didn't Kyle just get a pistol? Well, it wasn't legal. He was following the law.
Right. It's only legal for him to actually have carried a rifle. If he had a pistol, he would have been breaking the law.
Yeah, he would have. All right, let's get back into the media bias about this, and I want to go to this story from Kathleen Foodie out of Chicago, and she is an AP journalist, and the headline is Black Americans see bias system in the Rittenhouse verdict. Okay, so right then and there, they've injected race into a trial that doesn't. Now, in fairness, the reason that they continually inject race into this, Adam, is because of Jacob Blake. And Jacob Blake, we know a little bit about Jacob Blake. We know what happened in there. Can you tell us a little bit about Jacob Blake and who he was?
So Jacob Blake has a lifelong criminal record. He has offended multiple times. He was actually had a TPO from I believe the mother of his children. He had went to her house.
Yeah.
And
3 children, right?
Three children, correct. He had those 3 children in the car. He was armed with a knife. Police received a 911 call from his ex-wife or girlfriend, mother of his children. I'm not sure the exact relation, saying that he was there. Police showed up. They tried to stop him. He charged at them with a knife, and he was shot 7 times. Interestingly enough, Jacob Blake didn't die. Jacob Blake is still alive. Mm-hmm. He is, heavily paralyzed, but he's still alive.
Yeah, and, listen, I'm sorry, Jacob, that this happened to you. I'm sorry that you did this. Okay, so yes, he had a warrant issued in July for 3rd-degree sexual assault, criminal trespassing, and disorderly conduct. He had a knife on him. So the media, again, this is part of the misinformation. The media said he didn't have a knife. Oh, wait, there's a knife in his glove compartment. Oh, wait, there's a knife in the side door. Oh, wait. Video showed he had a knife in his hand. So it was a completely different story. Once the media found that out, they had to go ahead and retract all of those. Now, I want to tell you some of the differences, and this is important. This is so important. They are trying to compare Jacob Blake getting shot in the back to Kyle Rittenhouse being released because of a self-defense, thinking that was racist. Here's the difference, okay? Jacob Blake was in a house he wasn't supposed to be in. Jacob Blake was trying to take 3 children that, yes, do they belong to him? Yes. Were they allowed to go with him at that point? No. They were being served a warrant, okay? Nobody had a warrant on Kyle Rittenhouse. Nobody was going after Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse did not have any kind of background or record that they were going to issue a warrant for, okay? These are completely different situations. And to be honest, the only criminals, and this was a big part of the contention too, because people were mad that Schroeder, the judge, or Schrader, I'm not sure how he pronounces it. I've heard both.
I think it's Schroeder.
Yeah, I think it's Schroeder, and I'm going to keep going with that. But one of the big criticisms was that he was making sure that they were not called victims during this trial.
I actually appreciated that. Don't call them victims. They were criminals. They were chasing somebody down, attempting to kill them. And I have zero doubt in my mind that if they had been able to get his gun, if Joseph Rosenbaum was able to get Kyle Rittenhouse's gun, he would have attacked Kyle Rittenhouse with that gun.
100%.
And I asked every single person I talked to this week, Scott, in Kenosha, I asked him this question. If Kyle Rittenhouse was your 17-year-old son and you were watching on somebody's live stream him running from his life as people were trying to grab his weapon, what would you have wanted your son to do?
Yeah. And what did they say? What did most people say?
I actually convinced a couple people to say, yes, I don't think I would have wanted my son to do anything different. But in the same sentence, they said, but he shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have crossed state lines. And they go right back to the rhetoric full of lies that they've been taught by mainstream media. Mainstream media is feeling the hit from this right now, though, Scott. CNN's ratings are crashing. MSNBC's ratings are crashing. And if you combine their viewership from Q3 this year, both of them, CNN and MSNBC, they still don't have more viewers than Fox News, which just shows you something that people are starting to realize, that Democrats are starting to realize that what they are being fed by this mainstream media is lies.
Yes, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about why and these protests and all the misinformation, because we've heard it, that he carried a gun across state lines. Wrong. That he's a white supremacist. That was proven wrong. They went through his phone. They went through every text, every photo, everything. Could not find anything about him being a white supremacist. He crossed state lines for no reason. He had no reason to be there. His father and family lived there. Everything they said about him was a complete lie, and the media kept perpetuating it. I hope he continues to sue. One last thing, we're up against another break. This hour goes quick, I'm telling you. If you want to get your phone call in now, 404-741-1230. The last thing on this, and this is the other thing, because they continue to bring back what this meant if he was a black man in America, how that would be react. And one of the people, Frankie Cooks, she was, and she is an activist. She's not, I mean, she still is. She's not dead or anything, so I don't want to say she was an activist. She still is. She said Rittenhouse wouldn't have been acquitted if he was a black man. And obviously she is a black woman. Now, she does have some personal. Her 20-year-old son, Tyrese Sherrod, is charged with opening fire at several men who she says attacked him at a Kenosha gas station. He faces 5 felony counts, including first-degree recklessly endangering safety, first-degree reckless injury. So those are some of the cases. Now, she says, and this is a huge quote, "I'd like to see them handle his case, the case of a black kid, like they handled this one." This is exactly why everyone should look at this evidence in the Rittenhouse trial and applaud the fact that the jury, who was afraid, who understood what went on for 3 nights in that town, what it was like to self-defense. And they should applaud this. And this woman should applaud this. And she should look at the actual facts of this case and the case that the defense made and make sure that is used in her case if what she says is true, that her 20-year-old son was attacked and he used self-defense. That's what these people should be going, hey, look, finally. Yay. There's finally a case that shows self-defense is okay, because whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Asian, whether you're whatever, Latino, or anything else, we have the right to defend ourselves in this country. And there's another case, Adam, real quick, before we go back to break, there's another case out there of a black man on trial who is using the self-defense.
Andrew Coffey IV, yes, he was facing charges very similar to Kyle's, except when he fired shots, he had fired them at Indian River County Sheriff's deputies during an early morning drug raid at his home back in 2017. So we can get into some of the details of that case when we come back from the break. I know that one's very similar to Kyle's case in terms of the defense that his attorneys used. So we can talk about that. And that's a great argument to what some of these people are saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what's more important. We got to look and stop injecting race into this and realize this is a self-defense case. And when we look at all the facts, we realize that this was the correct decision and it should be used. And like I said, Ms. Cook, if you're correct and this was a violation and your son had to defend himself, then they should look at this trial, get the right attorneys, and fight for it for self-defense. This is the Rhino Conspiracy, Xtra 106.3. Download the app, Xtra 106.3, XTROA 106.3. We'll be right back, right after this break.
At Wellstar, people are...
What's up, everybody? So we're going to take a quick commercial break. Like I said a minute ago, we are live on the air with Xtra 106.3 FM here in Atlanta, Georgia, on Rhino's podcast that he has going out to those airwaves today. If you want to be a part of the program, please join us on the phone. 404-741-1230 is the phone number. We're going to be live till about 1 o'clock here in this studio. We are going over the media's reaction, the bias, and the misinformation that's come out about this Kyle Rittenhouse verdict. Please, if you guys are watching right now on YouTube, if you're watching right now on Facebook, hit that thumbs up button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button. Please like and share this out. with all your friends, all your family. Rhino and I are going to be putting out some great videos next week after Thanksgiving. We have completely reconfigured our studio downstairs outside of the radio station studio, so we're going to talk about that and a little bit more when we come back in the next week after. We're going to go right back into this. We'll be with you guys in about 30 seconds.
Conspiracy. My guest today is Adam Junger of Freedom Flashpoint, of Wake Up America podcast and the PT News Network. And so, can we get any more, Adam?
Not anymore. I'm pretty much
running
everywhere.
out of breath here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and plug your Twitter and your other stuff real quick while I catch my breath.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Real Adam Jungers. You can find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at Freedom Flashpoint is the name of my channel there. We broadcast a couple times a week and just kind of try to cover the stories that mainstream media isn't covering. Dive a little bit deeper into what the truth is and debunk some of the myths.
All right, and it's a great site. Stephen and Adam and everybody that part of it. I do want to say there's a gentleman named BCP, the Black Conservative Preacher. He's out from Oregon. He was there as well. And, of course, Tara...
From the Polish American Brotherhood.
I want to say Shapansky. Yeah. I want to say the name right. She's from the Polish Brotherhood of what?
Polish American Brotherhood.
She's got to shorten that. She's got to shorten that. She's fantastic. She's amazing. She gets beaten up a lot by some of these protests that are, peaceful protests. And that's what's going on right now. The Rhino Conspiracy. You could call in. We don't have a lot of time left. We actually only have 5 minutes left of the show. 404-741-1230. We'll try to get your calls if we can. We're going to talk about some of the protests that are going on because I believe that some of these protests are completely fake. Here's one of the headlines that we see. Chicago thieves target Neiman Marcus, GameStop amid the Rittenhouse protests. Why? What did Target, Neiman Marcus, and GameStop do?
This is all an opportunity thing that we see. We've seen these since May of 2020 with the George Floyd protests. Target was one of the main attractions for looters back in 2020, right there on, I believe it's Lake Road in downtown Minneapolis. It was the first place they hit. This is where they go every time. Anytime that you can give an excuse for people to loot and riot in some of these blue cities like Chicago, like Minneapolis, the interesting thing is that Kenosha, when they had their riots and they had their protests last year, Scott, Kenosha's uniquely placed between Chicago and Milwaukee, and it's only about a 30-minute drive from either one.
Right.
So you had a lot of people that came into town. They were never even from Kenosha.
No, most of them weren't. They were from Chicago, and a lot of the people, and that's why Chicago got targeted, a lot of the people left Kenosha and went to Chicago, and that's one of the things that people didn't understand because everybody wanted to know why he traveled all the way from Illinois because a lot of people don't know how close they are. Why would he travel all the way from Illinois, Antioch, Illinois, to Kenosha, Wisconsin?
It's about 15 minutes.
It's 15, 20 minutes. I mean, that's a suburb of Atlanta. That's like me traveling from Kennesaw to Atlanta.
It's not like you traveling from Kennesaw to Marietta.
Right. So, of course, he had every right to be there. His family lived there. So these protests keep going and going. We saw protests Saturday in New York, Los Angeles, Chicago. In Chicago, protesters held signs, "Stop white supremacy." Again, this had nothing to do with white supremacy. We're hitting the streets to protest a racist injustice system. Again, how can this be racist when it was a jury by their peers, when it had nothing to do with race?
Because we get back to the claim that they make that if he had been black, if Kyle Rittenhouse had been black, he would have been treated 100% differently. A jury would have found him guilty. He may not have even made it to a jury trial, that the system is so far stacked against them that he would have been locked away and the key thrown away.
Yeah. And also, we only have about a minute and a half left. The funny thing is, as they call these peaceful protests, as they call them, these are just protests, and they're the heroes in this, when they're really domestic terrorists. That's what these people are. The BLM movement, not all of them. There are some really good BLMers that are out there that are but they're just caught up with this Antifa movement, which is a complete domestic terrorism. And in fact, in Portland, they declared a riot at about 9 o'clock. Windows were broken. Doors of city facilities were damaged. So they were going on a federal property. Police tweeted objects were thrown at them and other officers. A violent uprising by a domestic terrorist group.
Urine, paint bombs, fireworks, you name it, Scott. These officers in Portland were attacked 24 hours ago. I got emails of pictures from wives of police officers that were out there that night showing me what their uniforms looked like, showing me what their boots looked like, covered in paint, covered in urine.
Yeah, this is amazing. Adam, maybe we'll stay live. Maybe we'll stay live on all the YouTube channels after we kind of get the radio station back online and they go on to their next show here. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We will go live. Stay tuned. If you want to watch us live, just give us a few minutes. We'll go, we're going to go on hold until this is done. Thank you for listening. Xtra 106.3. Download the app. I'm your host, Scout Rhino. You can listen to me every day right here in Atlanta on Xtra 106.3. Just download the app, Xtra, Xtra 106.3 out of Atlanta. I am on Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. till 9 with my co-host, Mark Zinno and Tug Cowart. Also visit my friends over at 1776united.com. We'll speak to you soon.
Good news abounds in southern Cobb County. Each month you can discover local good news and events in the Brightside newspaper. Hi, I'm Kathy Lipsett, publisher of the Brightside, bringing local news and advertising to 20,000 homes in Vining, Smyrna, Mableton, and Austin.
All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in with us. We are just going to kind of wrap up what we have going on here on the radio station. We've got to get the airwaves back out, Fox News Radio, here at Xtra 106.3. So we're going to come back live to you guys in about 2 minutes. We're going to stay live this whole time. You won't have any audio from us for a couple of minutes, but just give us a minute to tie back into everything, and we'll get the board audio plugged in. So give us just about 30 seconds to a couple minutes. We're going to be right back with you guys, okay?
All right, everybody. So we are continuing our broadcast here on YouTube, right on the Freedom Flashpoint YouTube, Freedom Flashpoint on Facebook, Freedom Flashpoint on Twitch, and the Xtra 106.3 YouTube page as well on citizenstringer.tv. Today we're talking about a little bit of the media bias that's been going on in this case of Kyle Rittenhouse. Scott and I have taken a little bit of an opportunity to watch MSNBC, to watch CNN, to start fact-checking, start pulling out the myths that they're peddling to these people that watch them. I'd mentioned earlier, though, the amount of ratings that they had currently had. Now, you have to remember that since Donald Trump has left office, these Democrat left-wing media outlets have had their ratings completely slashed, not just in half, by almost 70% to 80% on some of these actual Nielsen ratings. Now, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, still holding the highest ratings for primetime, or the second highest ratings for primetime TV. Tucker Carlson actually holds that record from Fox News, and Fox News retaining about double the amount of primetime viewership that the other mainstream media outlets hold. And you can add those numbers, almost 680,000 primetime viewers from CNN. Now, let me tell you guys about something like this. 680,000 primetime viewers from CNN. That's nothing. That's absolutely nothing. That's as if the actual metropolitan city of Atlanta, that's the amount of people that watch them. Now, here's the problem, is that these companies, CNN, MSNBC, they have this extremely strong social media marketing. We all know how influenced we are from social media these days. So we get these posts, we get these articles, and they're full of lies. And instead of Facebook and all the other social media outlets starting to actually fact check these media outlets, they allow them to be published and, in fact, even perpetuate them. So we're up against not only the viewership of these outlets that they have during primetime media time, we're up against the spread of the misinformation all through social media. Interestingly enough, the irony here is that the spread of misinformation that they accused the right of and accused Donald Trump of in 2016 all the way through 2021 is exactly how they won the election in 2020. Now, getting back to where this relates to this case, just going through some of the headlines that Rhino and I had gone over at the beginning of the show. We talked a little bit about Ellie and Tiffany Cross.
Ellie.
You know
what?
Eli.
I really thought his name was Eli, and I kept looking, and I was like, you know what? I want to. Listen, the one thing about me is I'm really good about being nice to people. I try as best as I can. Until you're a jerk to me, that's fine. But once that becomes something I like, but I looked up the pronunciation. Because I was like, what if it is Eli? Because I never know. When people spell their names, who knows? And it was Ellie. I was like, okay, I'm a little surprised. Little surprise there.
In talking about this, and I was looking at some of the tweets from Elie Mystal last night, and after I had seen his little piece on air there where he said, quote, "Welcome to the modern Republican Party. This is what these people want. This is what a majority of what white people vote for." Now, it doesn't even matter the context at which he said that in.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the context because what he had said there is that this is what a majority of white people vote for. Now, that might not be racist when you look at it, black and white in text on the paper.
Yeah.
It's stereotypical.
Yeah.
This is what a majority of white people want. You don't know what the fuck white people want.
I know. And we are allowed to curse now because we are not on radio in Atlanta, but we still are on Xtra 106.3 on the YouTube channel, and we're on the Freedom Flashpoint and all that. I do need to ask you guys to do me a favor, okay? I need you to go over just for a minute. Come back to Freedom Flashpoint as quick as you want to come back. That's fine. But go over to Xtra 106.3, my YouTube channel over there. Find it, please. And go ahead and like that page for me, please.
Yeah, please help Scott out.
And
we need him to
also
keep his job.
Because the more that we do that, the more we get to have these conservative voices. That's one good thing about Xtra 106.3. We're the only conservative news and talk station in Atlanta, and I'm lucky to be a part of this. And part of the reason I'm part of this is because of guys like all of you. And we want to grow this channel because there's a time and a place for this, and it's right now. It's getting out the word that conservatives are tired of sitting back, and that's the big part. So please, if you get a chance, go over to the Xtra 106.3 YouTube channel, watch it so we get some of our views up as well. You can talk to us on there as well, and like and subscribe to that channel so that my bosses will be really good. The other thing you can do, we are live, and we are in our studios here. This is my studio every day. You can call us still, 404-741-1230. Guys, I love talking to you on chat. I can't really watch all that and run all this board and all this information at the same time, but we can talk to you. So call us, 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. Even if you just want to call and tell me how great my beard looks, and I'm talking to you, Tammy. Yeah, and Dem Lady. I know you guys keep talking about that.
Yeah,
or you just want to tell us you love us.
Lady.
Yeah, yeah, she changes her name every day. I got to keep up. Here, should we play the Elie and Tiffany Cross again for people?
Yeah, can we play it? Yeah, please.
Absolutely, we can do all this.
This is disgusting.
This is the fun part about this now is that we're in our studio here. All right, listen to this once again. It's about a minute long.
I find these people disgusting, Elie. I'm disgusted at what I'm seeing. It's not just this trial, it's other trials. But this in particular, the fact that white supremacists roam the halls of Congress freely and celebrate this little murderous white supremacist, and the fact that he gets to walk the streets freely, it lets you know these people have access to instituting laws. They represent the legislative branch of this country. What are we to make of that?
Welcome to the modern Republican Party. This is what these people want, and this is what a majority of white people vote for. Right? When I say that a majority of white people are in favor of this kind of violence, it is because a majority of white people consistently vote Republican. Since the passage of the Civil Rights Act, a majority of white people have voted Republican, right? So, this is the party that they're supporting. A majority of white people pick judges like Bruce Schroeder, the judge in the Kyle Rittenhouse case. A majority of white people do not support policies that would unpack and unroll and reform this system of justice. This is what they want. Matt Gaetz is giving the white folks what they want. Look at it. Look at yourselves. It's gross. But until a majority of you stop voting for this will keep happening.
You know what? You need to look at yourselves. This is what's gross. This is what's gross about America right now. Let me tell you, is that these people have a fucking platform to stand on, period. You want to talk about gross? You want to talk about disgusting, Miss Cross? Let's talk about what's disgusting, is that you actually believe the BS that's coming out of your mouth right now. That's what's disgusting. And not only that, but this MSNBC and CNN have given you people a platform. And when I say you people, I mean you liars, the people that are out here spreading misinformation to the American people. You are what's wrong with America. You are the problem in America right now. You are what's going to get everybody neck and neck, which is what you want. You want to see black people hating white people. You want to see white people hating black people. I'm not even going to get into it right now, but let's talk about it, Scott. Let's get into the segregation that these universities have given these kids. Segregated places to react to the verdict. Safe places to react to the verdict. This is out of control. You know what's disgusting? You're disgusting. Look at yourselves.
Yeah, wow. Wow. See, I love that. Listen, but you're right. You're 100% right, because every point of this case has been about media bias. And it started from the beginning with the president, Joe Biden. And the good thing about what's going on, when he was not president, when he made the comments about Kyle Rittenhouse, this gives Kyle Rittenhouse an opportunity to sue a citizen, because he was not a political, he wasn't in politics at all at that point, right? He was actually just a citizen. So this gives him the right. Now, I don't know if any of those will go through. I will tell you this. Here's what I think Kyle Rittenhouse would do, and this is just personal opinion on my regard, is that Kyle Rittenhouse will not only get all this money from all the media outlets and everybody he sues, but he will put that money away, continue to go to Arizona, get his degree in nursing, and continue to help people, because that's the kind of person that Kyle Rittenhouse really is, not what the media wanted to portray. I want to go ahead and play another cut, because we continue to talk about this. And as race got brought in to this case, here's Joy Reid. She's one of my favorites. Oh, God. Ugh.
You're trying to make me have a heart attack.
Yeah, well, guess what? Here, you're about to have one.
The Kyle Rittenhouse trial. It reminded a lot of people of something, the Brett Kavanaugh hearings.
What?
In which Brett Kavanaugh, who had been accused by a high school friend of committing sexual abuse of her, cried his way through the hearings to make him a permanent member. And his tears turned out to be more powerful than the tears of Christine Blasey Ford. But in America, there's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears.
Adam, would you like to respond?
Male white tear? What is she even talking about? What in the hell does Kyle Rittenhouse have to do with Brett Kavanaugh's hearings? I have zero idea. And to say that his tears were not real tears, listen, I'd like to think of myself as an expert in people fake crying, right? I can spot it from a mile away easily. Yeah. That kid was not fake crying. He was reliving an experience. He was having a post-traumatic stress experience at that point. He was having a panic attack. You could hear it in his breathing. You could hear it in his sighing. You could see it written all over his face. He was out of touch of reality as he was going through that story. Listen, you want to talk about white tears? These are my white tears right now. You want to talk about BLM protesting? You want to talk about all this bullcrap? Let's talk about something, a real situation, a real case, Ahmaud Arbery, right? Where you had 3 white guys that chased down a black man who may or may not have been burglarizing an empty under construction home, right? That guy was shot and he was killed. You want to go out there and protest? Listen, I will stand outside and hold hands with you as you protest for his life and justice for him. But when you talk about Kyle Rittenhouse and you try and compare it to Brett Kavanaugh's swearing in hearings, you've lost me completely. Joy, you're way out of touch. I don't even know what a white tear is, but I hope I never have to experience them.
Yeah, I've never had black tears either, so I'm not sure why we have to. Now our tears are racist. I have white tears. Oh no, and again.
Did you denounce your white tears this morning?
Yes.
It's like a new privilege that you have. Your crying is not the same as their crying.
Yeah, I kicked my white tears left and right, and then when they got on me, I complained. But listen, again, he's been called this little white murderous, white supremacist, white supremacy. Elie Mystal called the judge a biased, racist judge, trying to get Rittenhouse a walk, that the judge was biased. I mean, this is the misinformation that's fed into this. And again, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I don't blame black Americans or any kind of minority American for feeling the way they do in this country, because the media and our politicians continually false information. Now here, I want to go back into that too. And guys, again, now we're just having fun on our YouTube channel. And I'm still in like radio mood, I guess. So I realize I can actually say bad words now, which is great. But the good part about it is you can call in 404-741-1230. Say hello to us. Say hi. Tell us your feelings. And I'd really like if anybody has a differing opinion out there, because there are many that come in and troll our YouTube channels, and that's fine. And we don't mind it, because we, until it gets to a point where it's disgusting, and April will have to take you out. But
Joe Demet on YouTube said they are the new racists. Yeah, MSNBC, the mainstream media is.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to go into because a lot of this extremism, and I want to go into this article by Nicole Hemmer, who is a research scholar at Columbia University, of course, with Obama Presidency Oral History Project. So you know where she comes with that.
Wait. Let's circle back. What's it called again?
The Obama Presidency Oral History Project.
It was Bill Clinton part of Bill.
Yeah. I was going to say, we should have went through Bill Clinton's oral history. That's where we need to go. She's also a co-producer of Welcome to Your Fantasy. That might be on OnlyFans. I'm not sure where that one is.
Dude.
But you can call us again, 404-741-1230. Guys, thanks. Go to the Xtra 106.3 Atlanta. We were banned because I put up the actual
Trump rally.
Thank you,
Trump rally. And then I told you, I said you got.
Yeah,
I
forgot to take it down.
Hey, bro, you got to delete that, or else they're gonna ban you. You have to delete it afterwards. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
And then what was it? It took a while. You had it up there for what? 10 days?
Yeah. Yeah, I had it up there. No, I had it up there for 14 days. And then, then I reposted it off the recording of the cameras. That one's still up. They took down the live ones, though.
Oh, no way. So you still have...
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's
good.
Yeah, because we're the only ones getting censored on social media. See, that's the funny part about it, and I'm going to bring it back to this right now, is that the media wants to call for, misinformation and this, that, and the other. And they need to be banned on YouTube and Twitter and get rid of the president and his account on Twitter because of all the misinformation they're putting out and the violence that they're showing and this, that, and the other. Yet every day these peaceful protests, which Portland called a riot last night, they're shown out there. The misinformation calling him a white supremacist, it's allowed out there. The fact that if you have a penis and call yourself a woman, that's misinformation, but it's still allowed out there. So let's get this straight. Medically, all that information, you're just trying to block one thing. Here's the article that I told you about Nicole Hemmer, and this is the headline. This is the best strategy we have against extremism and misinformation. Adam, you ready for this?
I'm ready. Let's see.
All right, so I highlighted a few things.
I love a good Nicole Hemmer story.
Yeah,
so
this is a great one.
A good one.
So she goes on and starts talking about all these cases, and of course, this is all about the Rittenhouse case. And it says in her article, both right-wing extremism and disinformation, two interrelated phenomena in the U.S. today. So they're saying that all the information only comes from right-wing extremism.
So as you read that to me, I have the MSNBC homepage up, which if you've never looked at it, go take a look at it right now. Let me read you this is my response to that statement. Let me read you, this is my response. Let me read you the headlines that's currently on MSNBC.
Yeah.
Because, okay. Here's the thing about, this is headline one. Here's the thing about Rittenhouse trial Judge Bruce Schroeder. What is? I don't know what that means, right?
Yeah.
This is bullshit. In one epic speech, Kevin McCarthy perfectly summed up the GOP. So what they'll do is they'll take 30 seconds out of something he said, where he talks about Democrats, and they'll say he summed up the GOP, right?
Yeah.
Lies. Here's the next one. Where the prosecutor in the Rittenhouse case went wrong, according to a civil rights lawyer. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What the does a civil rights lawyer have anything to do with or any interest in the case of Kyle Rittenhouse? Why are they asking? You should be asking a criminal law attorney, not a civil rights lawyer.
I know, it's ridiculous. But see, it pushes their narrative in that way. She goes on, and another paragraph says, on the cultural front, the valorizing embrace of the right of white Americans arming themselves has made it more difficult for law enforcement and legislators to fully appreciate the depth of threats facing the U.S. So they don't say anything about the illegal weapons being carried by other minorities throughout this entire country every single day. People getting shot. People like Jaslyn Adams. People like, Sequoia Turner. People that are getting shot by BLMers. The 3,000 police that were injured during 500 riots throughout this country. Not peaceful protests, riots. They don't talk about gauge Grosskreutz holding a pistol to someone's head. Listen to the hypocrisy of this, because she made sure to say, we are embracing the right of white Americans arming themselves. Arming themselves against what? What are we arming ourselves against, Adam?
You know what? I can tell you what I arm myself every single morning when I leave the house. Actually, I have several firearms around the house. My wife has one as well. We sleep with them very close by. We live in a very safe neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I arm myself every single day when I leave the house.
Yeah.
For why? People would ask me, why do you do that? Well, because I don't know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what's going to be happening. I have no clue. So people say, well, what are you afraid of? Nothing. I'm not afraid of anything.
No.
We actually heard Binger ask that question at trial a bunch, right? What are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Why would you bring a weapon? What would you be afraid of? I don't know what I would be afraid of. That's why I bring a firearm, to be prepared.
Yes.
It's not about being afraid of anything. It's about being able to confront a threat should one arise that threatens my life or my safety. My wife and I, who is a defense attorney, had an opportunity this morning to take a look and see exactly what the laws were against self-defense in Georgia and what we could be doing. And it read pretty clear. If you are in fear of your life, that you are going to lose your life due to serious injury that somebody else could cause you, you can meet their threat with equal threat, right? Now, here's the thing. If I come up to you in a bar and I start a fight with you, and all of a sudden you're some UFC fighter and you're beating my ass, I can't pull out a gun and shoot you. That's something I cannot do. Now, but if I'm sitting at a bar, which you shouldn't have a firearm at a bar anyway, but let's just say I'm walking out of a bar and you catch me in the street and you just all of a sudden you provoke me and I feel that I'm going to die, I can shoot you.
Yeah.
And the laws are very clear here in Georgia that you. And I think they are in most states, too. In Wisconsin.
Well, in Wisconsin, it was clear.
It is clear. And they have a lot of reciprocity here for Georgia. When I went there, I concealed carried when I was in the streets of Kenosha. Right. Why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Right?
So, and that's this is just such an irresponsible piece that was put out on CNN. And it's on CNN right now. You can read it. Again, the headline is "The Best Strategy We Have Against Extremism and Misinformation." And they're talking about the gun there. She goes on to say, this is that many on the right are portrayed as extensions of law rather than alleged violators of it. This is the funny part about this, and she's talking directly about what happened with not only Patricia and Mark McCloskey, who were in St. Louis, right? And they were holding their guns out, protecting their own property. That's what they're allowed to do. This is not a violation. She says that these people are violators of this, and they're trying to push it. They did not violate any laws. They did not violate any laws. They have every right to carry their guns. So did Kyle Rittenhouse. This is not the only violation that happened was that Gage Grosskreutz had a gun. It was a pistol that he held against someone's head and then got shot in the bicep. Why are you not talking about that, Nicole? Why are you not talking about that? Hey, listen, we got a phone call. This is Angel in Las Vegas. Angel, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hey.
Hey, how have you been?
Good, how are you?
Oh, it's a day. But I gotta tell you, I had a thought last night. Poor Steve was struggling to fill airtime because there was just nothing popping off.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here thinking, he needs a tape of Scott doing his mother's impersonations.
Just do my mom's impersonations. Just for Steve.
Scott, you a big boy.
I'll just go, Steve, yeah.
Oh, my God. I so miss them. They are so funny.
He is such a big boy, Scotty.
My mom called me and she goes, Scott, let me tell you something. This gentleman that went up and pointed a gun and all the other ones that Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself against, they have rap sheets longer than a CVS receipt.
But it was literally because obviously we're West Coast, so we normally would listen to you guys about dinner time. And just listening to Steve try to fill the airtime, and the thought just kept going through my head. He needs Scott, and he needs a tape of Scott's mom.
I still got to get my mom on the phone, and I got to get her on the show. We have to have her on.
Well,
Angel,
I'll have her drive up here one day when she's in town.
Yeah. So, Angel, what did you think when you saw before the actual verdict came down? Because I was actually driving home on Friday. I figured it would come down, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that because I called Adam and I said, listen, they're getting Subway for lunch. They've been pushing this out. They've had a few things. Number one, they didn't want to rush to judgment on this because they wanted to show everybody that they were really taking every piece of evidence into the trial, looking at it and deciding based on all the evidence. So they took a little bit longer, but I think they didn't want to go on Friday. They didn't want to go on Thursday. Wait till the weekend when everything calmed down, sneak out and get away. Angel, what were you thinking when you heard first that this verdict was going to come down? Were you nervous or were you confident that this was going to come down as a self-defense case?
Well, it's really weird. There are a lot of things going on here, so I was busy, and I just happened on the verdict coming down when it was coming down. But I actually stopped what I was doing, pulled over to the side of the road, and I was ticking off my fingers as they read off each count.
Yeah.
So it was like, keeping a score in my head, trying to remember how many charges that the judge had thrown out, and I'm counting off. And I was thrilled. I mean, the anxiety of waiting for this to come down, because unfortunately it was very much about this kid, but it wasn't just about this kid. It was about all of us.
Yeah, it really was. It was about every American.
All of us every day, and what we have a self-determined, God-given right to self-defense.
Absolutely. Angel, I thank you for your call. Call again. We love having you guys join us. Again, the phone number 404-741-1230. We'd like to hear your thoughts on this case. We'd like to hear everything that you have to say about this case. But she's absolutely right. And I said this earlier. The girl, Frankie Cooks of Kenosha, she stood outside the courthouse. She was probably right around you at one point, and said Rittenhouse wouldn't have been acquitted if he was a black man, and then went on to tell her story about her 20-year-old son, Tyrese Sherrod, who was charged with opening fire at several men who she says attacked him on Kenosha gas station in October. He faces 5 felony counts. So it's very similar. We don't know the full story. We don't have video. We don't have anything on this, but I'm going to take her word because she's black, he's black, and he's on, and they're hoping that, they'll be able to use this. She said, I'd like to see them handle his case, the case of a black kid, like they handled this one. I want to see that. Good. I want to see it too. Because if what you're saying is true, and this gentleman, because listen, we have a case here in Georgia, Ahmaud Arbery. I'm totally on the side of Ahmaud Arbery on this one.
100%.
This has nothing to do with race to me, except for the fact that he was killed, which I think from, him being where he was at the time, I do believe that this was a case about racism, and I think you'll find out at the end of this trial, before you start going out and saying that this trial is not going to come out the way you want, why put that out there?
Let me ask you a question since we brought it up.
But hold on. Before you get to that, let me finish. But this case here, what she's saying, that she wants to see it, this is exactly what this entire group, like Angel was saying, we should all be happy with the verdict that came out in Rittenhouse, because it shows no matter what color you are, and it shouldn't matter what color you are, that you have the right to self-defense when a protest goes wrong and rioters start attacking you.
I think that it's just common sense here. I don't think that the racial divide, you have to remember this racial divide that America feels right now, that we're feeling from every side, right? Black Lives Matter is telling us there's a racial divide. That the institution of education, universities are giving us a racial divide. When we have all of this, people actually believe that there is a racial divide. But I think when it comes down to it, and you got a jury, and you've got, people sitting there that are deciding on somebody's life behind bars, I think by and large, America's not a racist country. I don't think that you could have all white jurors that are going to decide a case for a black kid, and I think they're going to do it justice. I don't think that out of those jurors that you pick, the likelihood of any of them being racist is probably slim to none. Right. You know what I mean? There's not just a bunch of KKK members, white supremacists walking around right now. So you know what? If that situation, and I don't know about that case, but if that situation in that case is very similar to Kyle Rittenhouse's, then I would hope for the same outcome. But we would have to watch that trial, watch the evidence come out, look at the video. The interesting thing that you had mentioned earlier, Scott, about Kyle Rittenhouse is that there was probably 15,000 of us, people that watched that happen live, that would not have ever seen that happen if Steve Oatley hadn't been live on Wake Up America.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
We would never have even known about this. We wouldn't have been able to watch it all unfold. We wouldn't have watched the kid get chased down the street, right? But we already had an idea of exactly how this happened. That night, within 7 minutes after the shooting had occurred, we had already seen all of this information that unfolded immediately, right? That it took a prosecution and a defense, almost 10 days to present evidence to prove otherwise. When for us, we saw it live. We watched it. We know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, and we also know what happened 3 days prior to Kyle Rittenhouse even being in Kenosha. We know what was happening, and we have to remember, and people but they're not going to know this because MSNBC, the AP, CNN, they're all the same to me. I mean, they're all the same kind of, basic show. They all want to put out there a completely different narrative, and they're not, they are no longer news. This is not news. This is all opinion-based. In fact, it's funny because one of these analysis by John Blake on CNN, there's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. That's analysis. That's not news. And when we go into this, and this is what this is a false.
I can think of a lot of things real quick.
You want to hear something racist? You want to hear something racist? Listen to this. This is racist.
I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the
Wait, you have adopted the attitude of the great Negro?
The great Negro.
The who?
The great Negro.
I'm sorry, say it more.
Great Negro.
Okay. You want to hear racism?
Not the great athlete who played in the Negro League. That's what he could have said. He could have said the great athlete, the wonderful baseball player that started his roots in the Negro Baseball League. He could have said that. He didn't say that, Scott. Why didn't he say that? He referred to him as the great Negro. It had nothing to do with him being a great Negro. No, he played in the great Negro League of Baseball. And if you know anything about baseball history, you know we had an amazing amount of players that came out of that league that started to play for the Major League Baseball Association at that time.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely amazing when you desegregated baseball. And now you look at where the world is heading right now, right back into segregation. They want us to be segregated. They want us at each other's necks.
Yeah, and it continues. I mean, that they obviously want this. They obviously want to create this mistrust between everybody. And that was the funny thing about this, all these articles to me about this media biasness. And I'm trying to find one of the articles I found before where it blamed Trump for, all these lies and all this hate and all this division. But the only division really is coming from Biden. The only division is coming from people like Jen Psaki, from people like Kamala Harris. Think about what Joe Biden did when he was running for president. He literally, he picked someone for the color of their skin and their sex. He literally said, I will have a black female vice president. He didn't. That literally is a racist statement. You have said, I will
look
not.
What you got. You got Montel Jordan's side piece.
Well, not Montel Jordan.
Montel Williams. Yes. I apologize.
But no.
Montel Jordan, I apologize to you, Montel Jordan. No disrespect there. I did not mean any disrespect to you, Mr. Jordan, only to Mr. Williams, which I also don't mean any disrespect to you, really only to Kamala Harris.
But here's the worst part about it is he didn't say, I am going to get somebody who is qualified, who is great, who happens to be a woman, who happens to be black. You didn't hire her based on what she's doing. You hired her based on skin color, which is the same thing as any other kind of racism. This goes on to say, and this is John Blake again, the article, which you can find right now on CNN, there's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. But as I've watched these trials about white male violence, that's what it is. This is what he says. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial about white male violence. You're the only one who injected race into this. This was not about white and black. I'm sorry, John Blake. You, sir, are a racist. Then goes on. Next line. There is nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man. Racism. You are a racist. Let's keep going. It's encountering an armed white man in public who has been inspired by the white men on trial. That's what you're scared of? That's what you're scared of. This is absolutely ridiculous. If I were to say the most frightening thing about driving through Atlanta is I can go to an ATM and I'm afraid of black violence, what would I be? I would be a racist, and I would never say anything like that because it's disgusting. But it's okay because you are allowed in this country as a member of the media to be racist against white men. Here's another one, Adam. You're going to love this. It's time to put another character on trial. A vision of white masculinity that allows some white men to feel as if they can rule and brutalize without consequence. Wait a minute. So you're saying Kyle Rittenhouse went out and brutalized without consequence?
And you know what? This is exactly it. This is the problem. They're trying to make it sound like every single white person has gone home right now. They're putting on their Spartan armor, body armor right now. Which if you guys don't have it, you might need it soon. Go to SpartanArmorSystems.com and use code YEET. You get 10% off your order from them. I got the level 4 and the level 3A. Great stuff. Lightweight. Steel core, ceramic plates. Awesome. Good shit. Anyway, but this is what they want to do. They want to make it seem like we're all out there putting on, body armor, putting on an AR-15, and we're going protest hunting. Right?
Yeah.
That's what they... We're going protest hunting. And I have something to say. You know what's more scary than an angry white man, Scott? Let me tell you what's more scary than an angry white man. Is an old white man who has got a problem remembering what color his shoes are, what he ate for breakfast, clearly riddled with dementia. Running our country, having the nuclear codes. That's what's scarier than an angry white man. As an old angry white man who happens to be named Joe Biden having the keys to the nuclear codes in this country. That's the scariest thing. I think we have a caller on the line. Who's on the phone with us?
Yeah, it's Kate from Jersey. Hold on, Kate. Hello, Kate.
Hi, how are you guys?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. Good to hear you again, Scott.
Oh, it's great to hear you and see all of you guys again. I'm trying to pay attention to the chat, too, at the same time, but it's a hard time.
I know. It's been a busy week for everyone, I think. I think everyone can, breathe a collective sigh of relief now, and hopefully, I don't know, though. I have a feeling that this is not going to go away for a while now.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Kate, because you know what? I had the same thought that, this is actually a great decision because, like I've said before, whether you're black, white, or any kind of minority, you can now look at this decision and say, hey, listen, I was attacked by a bunch of white guys as a black guy, and I used my right to self-defense to deter them from killing me. It can be used in every situation. But I have a feeling that this is actually going to be spun around as a bad thing that happened, and you had the same feeling.
Yes, I absolutely do, and I will give you two other point of views. One of my husband's best childhood friends is black, and he's a cop. So I actually was talking to him about it, and 100% he believes that the right decision was made. It was a cut and dry case of self-defense. He saw no other way around it. And then my other, one of my best friends is actually a prosecutor for the state of New Jersey. And so I was picking her brain about it. And she told me early on, as long as the jury does exactly what they're supposed to do with following the rules at the end of the trial and looking at the evidence, he will walk. And she told me this early on. So I think that people are just having a hard time. They just are having the flames fanned by politicians, especially the president, and they are going off of emotions. I think a lot of people don't even know, 80% of the facts of the case.
Yeah, and that's true. And then it's been proven that nobody knows any of these facts, Kate. And let me ask you another question. So you said your husband's a police officer.
No, my husband's one of his childhood best friends.
Oh, okay, but you know him really well too. Is he afraid now to go out and actually do his job like a lot of police officers in this country?
I mean, we live in, it's not like a high crime area. Like the most that we'll get is some car break-ins and stuff. So it's a pretty tame area. That
Where are you?
He's in Ridgewood, New Jersey.
Oh, okay,
so in Bergen County, and so I mean, he's not concerned. I mean, I'll pick his brain and see, if he has any other friends. I know, not that I really speak to him, but one of my ex-boyfriends is a Passaic County Sheriff's deputy. So he's in, I'm sure seeing more there. It depends, but where I am, no, I don't think that would really come into play.
Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, because a lot of police officers are, Kate, I love the way that you said that, by the way. Like, an ex-boyfriend who I never talked to, by the way, just in case the husband was listening.
My husband for like 20 years. So it's long gone. No, he broke up with me when he went to boot camp.
His loss. Yeah. Kate, thanks for calling. Thanks for watching. We'll speak to you soon, I hope.
Good to hear you guys.
Good to hear you, too. Yeah, so a lot of people listen. And the funny part is, and a lot of people are going to just complain that we're just a bunch of, redneck conservative, white trash, white supremacists that are,
Hey, man.
Hey, man. But listen to this. Okay, so this is still in the same article, by the way, and this is funny because, we're just talking about this. Race is, listen to this. Oh, Adam, you got to listen to this, and I want to know your reaction.
Right,
look, I'm setting them up, people. I'm setting them up again.
Poking the bear. By the way, Kate is somebody who, she knows all about fake news. She knows all about media bias and stuff. Kate actually just did something really cool and was able to run for her local school board where she lives.
Oh, that was that Kate,
and was able to actually
and she win.
Oh, yes.
Why didn't you tell them? Why didn't you say something when she was on? I didn't know it was that Kate. Congratulations, Kate. Yeah, we meant to talk about that the other day, actually.
Yeah, we did. But she knows all about it. Let's go to that cut that you have, though.
Okay, it's not really a cut, but this is the quote. Rhino and Adam, can we explain the DOJ and civil rights violation?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get into that.
I'll get into that. Yeah.
All right. So here's the quote from this article. Race is an inescapable theme that runs through all the trials, and he's talking about all the trials that are going on right now. At the center of each are white men who are accused of using unjustified violence, either against an unarmed black man or during racial protesting. Wait a minute. Unjustified violence? The only unjustified violence, the only violence that was portrayed in that entire case, if you actually watch this trial, if you actually watch the Rittenhouse, the only violence that you saw was someone swinging a skateboard, throwing rocks at police officers and Bearcats. The only violence I saw that night until Kyle Rittenhouse defended himself successfully was from all of these people. The only one I saw put a gun to someone's head was actually one of these so-called victims of unjustified. And when are we going to stop with the victimology of this? When are we going to stop with the victims? These aren't victims. These are criminals. These are people who were shot because they were trying to hurt someone else. They are not victims.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember in the trial, I believe it was day 2 of the trial, and I can't remember the witness that was testifying. It may have been Cristiano from the rundown. I think it might have been. When he was testifying, or it was somebody right before him or after him, they had testified that Kyle Rittenhouse seemed that he was unaware that people did not want him there, right? He was so eager to help on the ground there that he was unaware of the impression other people were getting from him.
What happened to our picture?
I don't know.
Oh, it looked like it went black.
It did go black.
Why are we black?
I don't know.
I like being black.
Oh, you know what?
You're a white supremacist.
My camera might have died. Did my camera die?
Your camera must have died.
My camera might have died.
Boo.
But anyway,
Hey, I'm back.
Cristiano, or whoever this was, brought that Rittenhouse did not realize that the crowd was kind of not liking his presence, right?
Yeah.
So maybe he's, call it whatever you want, naive, right? Mm-hmm. He's naive to this. And then you got a group of people that are clearly not happy with him there. One of them said that he's going to cranium him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Another one had made multiple threats to him, saying that if I see you alone, I'm going to get you. And then what happens? Well, possibly, I think the most fearful situation you could be in as a 17-year-old, a 35-year-old guy who, and I can tell you as a 17-year-old who had a big mouth, right? I used to come face to face with a lot of 35-year-old tough guys, because I was a 17-year-old tough guy. And hand over fist, you know this, 35-year-olds got grown man strength.
Yeah.
17-year-olds don't have that.
I know. It's amazing.
And you I just can't imagine ever reacting in a different situation. How would you react differently to this?
Yeah, no,
you were supposed to let him just take your gun and point it at you and shoot you? This crazed dude who told you he was going to cranium your brain? Yeah, just give him the AR-15. Let him decide what the fuck happens to your life.
Yeah, and what people don't understand is that, like, I want this for, black citizens, too. Like, if you're black and someone comes up and says they're going to kill you and cranium you and then come up and point a gun at your head, I want you to be able to use self-defense.
Yes, shoot, yes. If they try to grab your gun, please shoot them.
Yeah.
Defend your life. I would love nothing more for the young black kids who are especially facing black-on-black crime, because if you want to compare apples to apples here, this was white-on-white crime that was occurring.
Right.
So if you're going to be in black-on-black crime, please defend yourself. Please defend yourself in your communities. Make it known that you aren't going to take this type of violence in your communities anymore, because we all know that is what is plaguing these black communities, is the black-on-black crime. It's the absence of fathers in homes. It's the absence of any sort of parental supervision. Why? Why is that the case, Scott? Well, because black communities tend to have lower income. They tend to have parents that have to work multiple jobs to make ends meet, right?
Yeah.
So they don't have parents that are around to police their kids all day. They have a bad influence through the music and the social influences that they have every day. I'm not coming up with these talking points. These are the talking points from Blexit. This is Candace Owens' organization trying to educate the black community exactly what Democrats have been doing to hold them down for decades. And she's doing a damn good job of it, Yeah. And we have to take a look at all of these things that are going on in our country. It's a combination of the race relations. It's a combination of the justice system. It's a combination of police officers that are doing a great job and police officers that might not be doing such a great job. It is a problem where you have police that are harming innocent people. I agree that's a problem. We don't ever need that. We need to get rid of the bad apples, right? We can all admit, yes, there are definitely some bad apples seated within our justice system. But we also have to look at the people that are legislating for this country as well. The people that are sitting in Congress, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Maxine Waters, the AOCs that are literally putting in their sights of their guns, what they're putting in there is America's freedom, our First Amendment right, our Second Amendment right, our Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. No, they want to hang you. They want to put you up. They want to nail you to a cross like they did Jesus. And when they nail you to the cross, they want you to tell them everything that they want you to say. And that's denounce Donald Trump. If you're a January 6th protester currently sitting in jail in D.C. and you go in for a bond hearing, that judge wants you to say, I denounce Donald Trump. Tell me we don't get any more un-fucking American than this.
No, we don't. And it's amazing, Hold on.
Rhino.
Yeah, Donald Trump. Say my name. Say my name. Say my name.
Rhino.
Say my name. Here's Herschel.
Rhino.
Yeah, here's one of my friends from the show.
Rhino.
That's Dale. That's my good buddy. Yeah,
I like Dale.
Yeah, these are some of my favorites. This is what I do every day from 6 a.m. till 9 a.m. here on Xtra 106.3. Again, guys, if you didn't hear, go over to our YouTube channel, Xtra 106.3. It just helps me out. Go over there, view it for a few minutes, and then come back to Freedom Flashpoint or wherever else you're watching. Also, like and subscribe to that because it makes me look good because I'm in charge of all this. So the thing about this radio station here in Atlanta, we're Xtra 106.3 in Atlanta. You can download the app and hear me every day with my co-host from 6 a.m. till 9, and I would appreciate that. By the way, Adam, there's a camera on top of the computer to your left, and there's a USB hanging down from behind it. Why don't you plug that one into the little
I don't know how to do all that.
Dude, all you have to do is plug the thing in.
I don't think it's HDMI. It has to be HDMI.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
You can't just USB plug it in?
No, not into the ATEM.
Oh, well, go get another camera. All right. Anyway, but we do this every day, and we are the only conservative news and talk station in Atlanta, Georgia. You can download our app, Xtra 106.3. Do me a favor, go over because, like I said, I'm in charge of putting this entire station together with one of my co-hosts, Tug Cowart. So we do everything for this radio station, including the live video. So the only way I get respect from my bosses is when you guys go over to my YouTube channel and like and subscribe, and we have subscribers. Or when you go on to Xtra 106.3 on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram and like those as well. When they see those numbers go up, they know I'm doing a good job. So your support means everything to me. Because in all honesty, I don't make a lot of money doing this because we are a startup station, although we are the Braves Radio Network and we have a lot of other things and a big history. We've been doing this for 25 years. I've been doing this in Atlanta for 25 years, so we do have a big history. But yeah, your support in that way helps. It gets me raises. So, but I wanted to go back into this and talk about this. And again, guys, you're more than welcome to call us. 404-741-1230. I want to hear from you. Pick up the phone. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Call us. Even if you want to just say hello, or if you want to talk about anything else other than this Rittenhouse trial, you can call us and talk to us about it. You know, we can just have fun and talk about Donald Trump. Listen to him.
Listening to your show. Congratulations on your success, by the way. You do great.
Thank you.
Really great.
Oh, you're really great. You're really great. All right. Anyway, those are my fun buttons that I get to press every morning when I'm doing this show. But, you know, it's just gotten to a point now where it's almost, I think people are finally starting to get tired of it all. I think people are starting to realize that this entire movement, especially with all the misinformation from the other side, the fact that CNN, MSNBC, when you get thrown out of a courtroom, literally, your entire news organization got thrown out of a courtroom for false information. That's not a joke. That's real. This really happened in 2021 in Kenosha, Wisconsin. MSNBC got thrown out because not only were they following jurors and breaking laws by going through red lights to create a false narrative, they got thrown out of a courtroom. Our media, because they're not factual. CNN, people are tired of it. Guys, we're going to see a red wave in 2022 like we've never seen before. And there's a good reason for that. Because they continue to lie to us. We got a phone call coming in. You know what? I'm just going to blind do this. Hold on. Here we come. All right, who's this?
It's Julie Strain. How are you?
Hi, Julie. You're actually in Georgia too, aren't you, Julie?
Yes.
Look, see,
good, yes.
I know you guys. I know who it is. All right, Julie, what's going on with you?
Not much. I'm outside looking at this nasty weather.
Yeah, it's starting to come in, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about all this going on? How do you feel about everything that happened in this trial?
I'm a mom of 4 boys. So
okay. Jeez.
I was very, yeah.
Oh, man, hold on. Before you get into your story, what were you thinking, Julie? 4 boys? And you know what, Lee? Even if you got 2 girls and 2 boys, 4 kids. Wow. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, they're grown. Yeah, and the youngest is in college right now, North Georgia.
Jeez. So, okay.
Yeah. Well, they're all grown, so we just have children early.
Yeah, well, good for you. That's even better. Yeah. Get them out of the house.
Yeah, my hubby just turned 50 on his birthday, so
wow,
we're old now. I'm only 47, so.
There you go. You don't have to say your age on air, Julie. Shh.
I don't give a care. I don't care.
That's right. We start to get over it. You know, I'm the same age as you. I look like I'm 57, but whatever. So what'd you think about all this?
I think it's horrible.
What about? What was horrible? What's the most horrible thing about that came out of this trial to you? I mean, there's so many horrible things.
The facts of I can't remember his name, that basically raped children.
Oh, yes. That's our good friend, JoJo. Yeah, we'll just call him JoJo. Yeah. JoJo Rosenbaum. Yeah, 5 children. 5 children.
5.
Yep.
Yes. My husband was arguing with me. I was like, you need to go read. And he was like, oh, shit. He didn't know. He did not know either.
Oh, so he didn't know that. So did that change his mind?
No, he is, we are pro the First Amendment and the Second Amendment. So if he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion, but I think it was, I don't know. I won't say too much.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So when this, and I asked someone earlier, and I want to know your opinion. Did you watch the verdict? Did you watch it come down? You did. So before the verdict came down, when you first heard that there was finally a verdict in and they were going to go ahead and make the decision, what did you think at first? Did you think it was going to come back not guilty?
I was praying and hoping he would be not guilty. But the way everything is with the media and everything, I did not know.
Okay, good. So that, and I was hoping you'd say that because that brings up a great point. The one thing about it is that everybody was just like, oh, the other side was so afraid that this was going to come back not guilty. And then, people who were on Kyle's side were all like, you know what, the media has influenced this too much. It's going to come back. He's going to get, kind of screwed in the way, I personally feel that Derek Chauvin got screwed out of, manslaughter charges and other things because the media had such a bias to it. I was literally afraid this was going to come back with him being guilty too.
Yes, that's why one of the reasons why I was so afraid, because of what the media has and what they're continuing to do right now. Did you see what CNN put on? I can't remember exact words about he's a murderer and
yes.
Somebody, did you read that?
Yeah. So we're reading about that too. Yeah, that he's a murderer and a white supremacist murderer. I believe
the headline on the homepage of CNN this morning, and hey, this is Adam chiming in here, was "There's nothing more frightening in America today than an angry white man." That was the headline of CNN.com.
Yes, I saw that, and I was like, okay, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, the whole trial's been ridiculous, and I'm hoping that we get... Julie, it was great to talk to you. You're in the North Georgia mountains too, right?
I'm in North Georgia. You know where Beaufort is?
I'm
north from there.
Okay, you're north of there. Yeah, so I drive up 400 every day on the way home, and every morning at 2 o'clock, hit a deer there the other day. Messed up my whole truck, but I come down...
You hit a deer? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I came down over, because I come around Helen, and I come down over the, what they call the Dragon Tail. Here, I live right off the Dragon Tail, North Georgia, up in Hiawassee area. So coming down there, I drive down here to Atlanta every single day. So I pass through you all the time, Julie.
Yes, and we're actually we have a large lot where we live now, but we're looking to buy a property and build.
All right, perfect. Well, good luck with that, Julie. Great to hear from you. And feel free to call again. We'll speak to you soon.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Julie.
All right, that was Julie with us, and Julie is a big fan over on our websites as well, and we love to have her on all our social media platforms. But she's right, a lot of people are feeling the same way we did. I really didn't have confidence this was going to come back not guilty, and like everybody else, Adam, I was praying, and just so everybody knows, Adam's trying to fix his camera or put a new camera in or do something. I don't know.
I was trying to fix the camera, and I wish that I could have shown people. I don't even think you saw it, but when I came back from that side of the couch, I tried to step over the couch. My right foot got stuck between the table and the couch.
Yeah.
I flipped over head first. I may have injured my wrist. I have a workman's comp claim for sure. And even though I don't work here, so that's kind of interesting. You know?
That's like...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that's just a liability claim.
Don't laugh at him. These are my favorites. I love those.
Anyway, but I just got the camera on my computer to kind of work. I know it's a little fuzzy.
All right, we got another caller. I haven't even screened these. Now I'm just going to pick them up as they come in.
Let's go.
Hey, who's this?
Hey, this is Nick.
Nick, what's going on, Nick? Where are you calling from?
I'm up here in Washington. First-time caller, first-time listener.
All right. Well, welcome, Nick. What are you thinking? What do you call for today? What has got you upset, or what are you happy about?
Well, I was just listening to you and the other gentleman talking, and my perspective on the whole thing would be that I think the left just has a fear of guns the same way they do of COVID. That's irrational.
Yeah.
They see a gun on someone's side and they immediately think this person's going to kill me. And that's just an irrational point of view. Most people who go out in the world aren't looking to kill somebody. And then with this kid in particular, I mean, he's 17. He's in a place that's threatening, and, he's being chased. The crowd's hostile to him. He hears a gunshot and somebody's chasing him. Of course he's going to think, my life's in immediate danger.
Right.
So when he kills that first guy, I mean, that's complete self-defense. Even though the gunshot didn't come from Rosenbaum, how is he supposed to know that? His back's turned to this guy. The guy's chasing him.
Yeah,
the guy did throw something at him, and he got close enough to get gunpowder residue on his hands when he grabbed the weapon. So, I mean, you got to take that guy out. And, same thing with the other guys. When you have three people chasing you, you have to make that you or them decision. I think it was easy case. Honestly, I wasn't surprised it was self-defense. I think the jurors used, their sensibilities and didn't go with emotion. But I think for people who are more left-leaning, it's it's an emotional thing. I'm personally an independent, but I think you just use common sense, which is kind of what your co-host said earlier. Use some common sense here. And also, have some compassion for this kid. He's 17 years old. I think if there was anything I would give him criticism of is, and I don't know if it was true or not, but I did hear he was out there saying he was there to give medical need to others. And, I don't think he's professionally trained. And I think if you're going to do any emergency service, you shouldn't project training or expertise you don't have.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like even the media saying, he traveled across state lines. He had just as much of a right to be there as anybody else. So
right. Well, the media and Nick,
total BS.
The media left out a big portion of that there, where his dad and all of his dad's immediate family actually lives right there in Kenosha.
His own grandmother lives there.
Right. It was really strange how they did that.
Nick, one of the things you said too, and this is really important because I think about this all the time, and I'm on the same mindset as you, is someone carrying a gun, someone who has it on their side or has it open carry or is carrying it open, they are doing it to show you that they are going to be safe and they're going to be protected. Whereas the only guns we should actually be fear of is the ones that we don't see, the ones in the gangbangers' hands, the ones in the people's hands that are out to cause mischief. It's completely different from this situation. This kid did not, and what the media wants to show, or what the media wants to tell you because they can't show it, is that this kid grabbed his white supremacist t-shirt, grabbed all his white supremacy stuff, including all his flags and all the other things he wants, went to a peaceful protest where a bunch of people were just outside being happy, holding up peaceful signs, and he mowed them down with an assault weapon. That's what they want you to believe. Yeah.
Having a barbecue. They were just having a barbecue in the middle of the street. It was a jolly good time.
The media is so good at making stuff up that a lot of people thought he killed 3 black people, and he didn't kill anyone who was black.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hate the race stuff. Like I said, I'm an independent, but I would say to anyone out there who is a black person that conservative people don't hate black people. And, I would advocate for any good black citizen to go have firearms just like the rest of us and protect themselves. And I don't agree with what Kyle said, at that supermarket where he was watching theft go on in terms of his rhetoric, but I understand his frustration. When you see anybody going to the CVS or the Walgreens stealing stuff off the shelves, it impacts the rest of the community. We all go to the stores. So I can understand him being frustrated, but, again, he's 17, so he's going to say stupid stuff that, grown adults would be a little bit more measured about. So I just think I'm happy for him to be past this.
Yeah.
But, to a point, obviously, there are going to be people who don't like him going forward and try and do things going forward, but hopefully he'll be safe. But, even attacking him on the crying thing, I think was just ridiculous. Like you guys said, he probably was experiencing some PTSD on the stand or something,
Sure.
At least some kind of panic attack.
Yeah.
And you can't judge what's in somebody's heart. To me, at the end of the day, he made a split-second decision. He totally had a right to defend himself. He was totally outnumbered, and he didn't have a complete picture of the environment he was in, like you guys mentioned. So,
yeah, Nick,
it's an unfortunate situation. I don't think anyone's celebrating those people losing their lives.
No, not at all.
I think he was justified.
Nick, I appreciate you calling. Call back anytime. Keep watching.
We appreciate you listening,
joining
man.
us. Yeah, we really appreciate it. Have a great day, man.
Anytime anyone's a first-time listener like Nick, we appreciate it and appreciate the input. And, had Nick had a completely differing opinion from ours, that would have been okay, too. We encourage that. We want to encourage the conversation, encourage the discussion here. That's a really big deal for us. It's for everybody to make sure that their voices are heard. One of the big things that I could say when I was in Kenosha over, throughout this week was that there was a lot of compassion, a lot of passion behind what people were trying to say and getting their voices heard. They wanted to make sure that they were able to be heard out there. And that's where you get some of those tense situations, when you have a couple people who can be louder than whose point can be better than whose is more factually backed up than the others. instead of having that debate, in a more healthy way, that's kind of what it ends up to be like out there. It's more of a he said, she said type of situation. Nobody really gets a foundational understanding for each other. But I will say in Kenosha itself, Tuesday in particular, I experienced it myself. I had a differing opinion from some of the other people that were there protesting. And I tried to stay quiet for a majority of the day. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be drawing too much attention to myself. I would say, as far as in terms of media, there was media outnumbered protesters 50-1. It was a big difference of how many people were out there. But still didn't want to put myself out there saying, hey, you guys are all out here for something stupid. No, regardless of if you disagree with why they're out there. They believe in their heart of hearts that they have a legitimate reason for being out there. And you have to give credence to that on some level, Scott, because that's really what's going to make a difference in our communities, right? We have the media that's up against us right now that wants every white person to hate every black person because every black person is calling them out for being white, and every white person to hate every black person because the media is calling them out for being black. It's just so weird. It's like we're in this identity politics thing that I never thought we could be in, period. I never thought we could be here. I grew up through an interesting time period. Born in the mid-'80s and kind of grew up through the 90s. And what I would say was probably one of the most unified times of our country. You didn't have a situation where there was a lot of, I don't think, a race relation crisis like we have now, Scott.
No, not at all. And it's weird how much, but you know what? It's weird because we didn't have a media like we do. We didn't have social media like we do. And social media is the big problem with what's going on because of all the false information you're allowed to put out there about this fake supremacy of white supremacy. I'm sorry. All these things that are fake. We also have another call, and Beverly, where are you calling from? Vegas. Wow, we got a lot of Vegas people. Beverly, what's going on? How are you?
Good. I just feel that it's just more government overreach because when Trump asked Kenosha if they needed the troops in there and they just declined it.
Yeah.
And then the DA, the prosecution overcharged him. That's what caused this. He was overcharged.
Yeah, you know what, Beverly? I mean, that's a great point because there's really, if you want to blame anybody, and if Black Lives Matter wants to blame anybody, and if, the rest of the country that might not be a part of Black Lives Matter, but they agree with that movement, if they want to blame anybody in this case and for stoking this kind of racism and this problem about this case, it should be the DA's office, and it should be the governor who didn't go out there the night, because this wasn't just one night. This just wasn't August 25th, right? Yeah, I mean, this was two nights of people lighting fires. 2 nights. The governor had the opportunity to call in the National Guard, and he didn't do it. But it's funny because, you know what? He called it in for the Milwaukee Bucks championship game in the parade.
Exactly. It's just sad that they're bringing race even into this. My daughter is white, we're white, and she's married to a black man, and I have mixed grandchildren, and I have white grandchildren, and they're pinning them against each other. I mean, It's just more indoctrination.
Yeah, and again, this case had nothing to do with race, Beverly. It was just they wanted to bring it up. And the other person that you should really blame in this is the DA's office. The fact that the DA, and this is the big question to me, and what I want to question more than anything else is, why would the DA not prosecute this case? It's the highest profile case probably in the country and became the highest profile case in the country. And when it did, what are you looking for, Adam? Hold on, Beverly. What? My wallet. You need my wallet. All right. Adam's trying to get the other cameras up. We weren't really planning on doing extra, time, but we're doing extra time. All right. Anyway, the DA didn't even want to prosecute this, Beverly, and he asked the assistant DA, Thomas Binger, to do it. And that should have told them right there, no?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just sad, and I just hope that we could, bring this together. I pray.
Yeah.
I pray.
Oh, good. Adam got one of the cameras up. Beverly, thanks for calling. We love having you.
Thank you so much.
We'll speak to you
Yeah.
soon. All right. There we go, Beverly. Yeah, again, you could call us at any time, 404-421. Or, I'm sorry, don't call that. I was about to give out my cell phone number, which I don't mind because any of you people I would love to have call. I would just be afraid that we talk all night. So, but you could call here, 404-741-1230. Adam got my camera back up. Sorry. So the weird part is, like, I sit on one side of the glass, which is great, and my two co-hosts sit on the other side because I know how to do everything here, and I like the buttons. I like to press all these buttons, like, when they tell us that, how dare you go out? And I did this on the show the other day. How dare you go out? How dare you go out there and chant things like, let's go Brandon. Let's go Brandon is the most vulgar chant. And then I play stuff like this. Oh, that one was?
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
Yeah, De Niro. You said that right on the middle of TV, right on the stage, and you're going to worry about a bunch of people who are not stars, who do not have that kind of access, saying, let's go, Brandon, and then talk about how vulgar it is?
I'm going to say one thing. Trump.
Yeah, so that's why I sit on this side of the glass. So the camera has a little bit of a reflection, and Adam might be able to fix that. I don't know. Again, you could call. Oh, someone hung up. I had someone else online. Again, you could call us, 404-741-1230, 404-741-1230. We'll put you on the air. We'll talk to you as well. This is, one of the most... Look, I had such a sense of relief, people. I had such a sense of relief. I'm going to turn and look at my chat for a little. Oh, I better not do that. Listen to that wire. Oh, I'm not allowed to do that. My engineer at the radio station yells at me all the time. There we go, Richard Lopez. Let's go. Let's go. I love seeing you guys here. Again, if you haven't had a chance, and I told you before, we're at our studios here in Atlanta, Xtra 106.3. That's where I work every day, Xtra 106.3. Look it up on YouTube, please. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe to it. I promise you, we don't bombard you the way we do with others. We don't bombard you. I just need, because it's my station, it's my, what I'm trying to build here. We are a Fox News affiliate. We do broadcast a lot of great shows. We broadcast right after my show from 6 a.m. till 9 every single day, Monday through Friday. And we call it the Morning Extra, right after and we do a lot of local politics. I get, the Governor Kemp on a lot and get him on. I've even had
Raffensperger.
Yeah, I had Raffensperger on, and I get to ask a lot of tough questions. But they've given me a lot. They've given me a lot to do. Able to have, Herschel Walker on and a lot of these guys that are here in Georgia. We have a lot of big politicians here. So it's a great thing. Let's check the phone lines real quick. Hey, who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
April.
Hi, April. Our April?
Your April.
Hi, April. Wow, I am so honored. Oh, hold on, there goes my mic again.
Quit touching the wires.
I know. Listen, you know my history with wires too. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna get my engineer to redo this wire. All right, April. Yeah, you remember what happened last time I had to shorten my wire?
Yeah, but you used your tongue on it, and it just couldn't take it.
Yeah, well, my tongue's so hot. Can't help it.
I know it.
Yeah, so what's going on, April? So listen, we got to talk about your trip to the border too, because you know what? This is an all-around show today, but you were like us. We're sitting every hour watching this trial. Were you surprised at the way the media just kind of ignored the trial and never even watched it and just continued? Because you're a writer. Would you have ever wrote an article without watching 1 minute of a trial?
No, I wouldn't. And the question of if I was surprised, I want to say that I'm surprised, but unfortunately I wasn't. And I think I'm more disappointed in the fact that I wasn't surprised. A lot of the stuff that's circulating right now, I'm not surprised.
No, and you said
and
something.
That's sad.
It is sad, and it's really sad because, again, you're a writer, and Steve's a writer, and Lauren's a writer. We have a lot of great writers, and one of the biggest things that, you become now is no one will trust a word that comes out of your mouth, even if you're not on the, liberal side that does spread the lies. Everything you do as a writer now is going to be questions whether it's true or not.
And I hope that stays. I hope that is how it is approached always, because we strive so hard to get truth and facts in what we do. And we spend so much time. Everybody's like, it's so easy to just come on and do a podcast. It's just so easy to write these articles.
Right.
But you have to spend a lot of time. You have to do your due diligence, because the one time you're wrong, it knocks your credibility. And the reason why we spend so much time in doing everything is because we want to be credible. We want to have people say, you know what, this is a source that I trust, not just for our opinion, but for our facts.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? And I'm going to show the camera now. Like, this is like a few days worth of work for me. This is Adam just switched the cameras as I'm trying to show the camera. You're a jerk.
You're back on it. You're on it.
Right.
I showed it. Everyone can see you.
You can see all that?
Yeah.
These are the things I print out. This is 1 week's worth of stuff. I got to throw it away. But like, I work with a lot of liberals and they freak out about recycling. So I just keep all this paper to write on the backs of later. But this is 1 week. This is the kind of research that we do as podcasters, as people who write articles, because we don't want to give out false information. But I'm going to throw these in the garbage can now because it's a weekend. No one will find it. But no one can say anything. But, it is amazing because, you brought up a great point, because people are like, yeah, well, I'm not going to trust the media anymore. And we never should really trust the media. Steve said something the other day. Don't ever trust my articles. Don't ever trust April's articles. Go and research them yourselves. Read them and then research them.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's talk to you. Let's talk real quick, because everybody's like so excited you're on. By the way, I'm watching the chat. They're like, "Hi, April. Hi, April. Oh, we love you." You do a fantastic job, by the way. Yeah, this is the first time. Yeah, you do a fantastic job moderating, keeping people in line. You went to the border. What was that experience like? Well, first of all, I'm sorry that you had to go with Adam. That must have been a complete mess.
And I really got to know Adam in those 4 days. And let's just say one time I was trying to get his attention and he wasn't responding to his name. So I yelled crackhead and he answered. And I was like, oh my God.
Listen,
that's a true story.
April, one day I will tell you every Adam story that I will never be able to tell on air.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll need alcohol. Lots of alcohol.
Speaking of alcohol, you want to hear a great story? So one night, Adam's drinking and drinking.
God, why can't I just mute your mic?
We decided, that's right. That's why I hold the board.
You're
also
in the boardroom. Oh,
so
no.
So one night, Adam's already a little drunk, and me and one of our other friends, we're not quite, we're not there. We just got off, but Adam started early. He pre-gamed. So we go, but you still got to come with us. But he had been drinking tequila. So we go to this bar. We go to this bar, and I go, hey, bartender. And I'm friends with all the bartenders because it's a place I used to hang out a lot. And I go, hey, listen to me. I need you to do me a favor. Every time, because Adam's like, I need more tequila. More tequila. And I'm like, all right, listen to me. He had too much tequila. He wants to do shots. So what I need you to do is put water in all the shots. I'll still pay you for them as tequila. I don't care, but I can't let him get any more drunk. So she goes, no problem, no problem, no problem. So another waiter comes over to us, right? She asks me, what do you guys want to drink? And I go, oh, tell the bartender we want her special tequila shots. And the bartender, like I said, is a friend of mine. So they go, they tell her, she completely forgets. Fills these things up with tequila, right? Brings them over to the table. We cheer Adam. Adam's barely hanging on.
No, this is you're missing out the best part. You and our friend Heath, you guys are thinking the entire time this is about to be a shot of water.
Yeah, well, there's a shot of water. So we do this shot. Adam does the shot, and we realize, oh, wait, she messed up. And we both start spitting up because we thought it was going to be water, kind of like Sprite. Yeah. And so then we go, okay, that's it. We can't let Adam get any more. So I go back and I go, hey. Oh, she goes, oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. And then she never realized. So we order another round.
I get another round.
And she does the same thing. She does it 3 times. Adam is completely plastered. I had to carry him home the rest of the night.
It was so great. I remember that, too. I may have been really drunk, but I remember every minute of that. And I felt so redeemed because I think at the third round, I realized what you were trying to do.
Yeah.
And I felt so redeemed that I kept getting the tequila shots knowing you were trying to thwart my efforts. I felt really good about it. Yeah, it was good though.
My prescription's ready at Walmart.
What a good night that was. That was fun though. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we did. So April, what else?
The question is, was it Patron?
It actually
Probably
was Patron.
yes.
It was Patron.
Yeah, most likely.
I don't drink shit tequila, so it would have been Patron.
So Crackhead answered you, so you figured that part of Adam out. What else did you figure? This is more important than the border now. What else did you find out about Adam that you didn't expect?
Oh, that's a good question.
We put her on the spot now. She doesn't want to say anything.
Yeah. I'm just like, he's not a really good driver.
That's true.
I'm not a great driver. No.
He's not a good driver at all.
But I don't usually hit anything. I just am not a great driver.
That one scared me. I was like, yeah, dude, let me drive.
Listen, you can ask my wife. She gets car sick every time I drive. My wife does. Every time. It never fails. We'll be going to the grocery store, and she's like, hey, pull over real quick. I'm going to be sick because you suck at driving.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about this border experience, because a lot of people don't realize what's going on at the border because, again, the media won't cover the truth about the border and what's happening there. They think it's okay. And this is funny to me because, people were calling in before and they're talking about like the, Black lives and the way it's going. And I keep trying to tell black people and friends of mine that happen to be black, like, why are you so okay with this border being open and people coming in? Because we're giving them more money that we could actually be saving and giving to families that are actually here legally and Americans who need help. But at the border, they just keep coming through and they go, no, they're not coming through as much as you think. But you guys were down there. Tell us what it's really like.
Reading about it and seeing it in other people's videos is nothing compared to actually seeing it. And we found the greatest spot. And I think that we did a live shot from there, but we were there earlier in the day when the sun was up, and we've got a lot of recording. And just the amount of stuff that has been left by the people that come across, because they come across wet with their belongings in bags. And when they get there, they just strip naked, drop everything, put on dry clothes, and take off. And you can just see the amount of stuff that was left behind. And we captured a bunch of it on film, but we also brought some of it home with us. Everything from IDs to medications, travel papers from planes to buses. It was crazy. And to see the people coming across, some of them were so happy to be here that they were crying. Others were struggling because that Rio Grande River is dangerous.
I think back about it, April, it's Adam here. I think back about it, and we've been home now for a couple weeks, and the one instance I specifically remember, we had just watched a group of a couple hundred people get escorted out of the area by Customs Border Patrol. Night was falling. It had just gotten dark. We had decided, okay, we didn't see anybody else in the river. Let's sit down in the car for a minute. Let's get our bearings, charge batteries, grab a drink, all that good stuff. And it couldn't have been any longer than 12 minutes, right? And we started seeing the flashlights coming through up the same bank of the river that we had just watched several hundred people cross. And we waited a couple minutes before we got out of the car, but when I got out of the car, I had a camera in my hand, and that camera had a really bright light on the side of it. And
extremely bright. It lit them up.
It lit a group of people up. I'd say probably 30 people standing there, right? And the one thing they did was they all threw their hands up in the air. And that caught me off guard because I turned on the light immediately and trying to get footage of them. They threw up their hands and they were, as if I was CBP. And I may have looked like it. I was wearing body armor. I had a firearm on, So I understand why they did it. But
you're bald.
The first thing I said was, no soy policia, no soy la migra. Like, I'm not immigration. I am not the police. I didn't want, of course, anybody to think I was. And possibly maybe attack me, regardless. But when I said that, they all, a large group of those people started crying because they realized they had made it here and it wasn't CBP that was waiting for them.
You know what? I want to ask you guys a question too, because a lot of people are saying, so you feel sorry for these immigrants, and I'm going to go ahead and defend you because yes, we're going to talk about that, but yeah, we have to feel sorry for these immigrants that are coming because they're coming on a false premise. They're coming on the fact that they hear things through the media again that is misinformation. They're coming because they heard you can get $500,000 if they separate you from your family. They heard the borders are open. They heard you're going to get free money. They heard you're going to get these things. Yes, we feel sorry for them because they're being misled. They're told to come here and then they're getting arrested. And that's what we have to do at the border. So yeah, this entire administration is responsible for someone who might be drowning in the middle of the river or who are getting beaten by other, they're getting hurt, not by people here, but by coyotes and by cartel members. So yeah, we do feel sorry for these people.
Yeah, it's sad. I mean, do not get this situation twisted. I mean, I think we all are against illegal immigration, right? We all are, which is why we went down there to expose what's really going on in the story the media isn't telling you. In this group of people, in the time that we were there were 4 people that they had been known associates of MS-13 who had been previously barred from entering this country again, who had been previously deported from this country. In 24 hours, 4 MS-13 gang members apprehended. Now, April, you and I watched, and we'll have a lot more details about this coming out when we release the footage in the next coming weeks. But how many people did we watch go unapprehended that we do not know, or even the people that were apprehended out of those we do not know that may have been potential gang members or bringing in illicit drugs? We talk about illicit drugs, and you talked about how the people come over and they're soaking wet. They have a dry change of clothes and they change into those clothes. And a lot of times they're met with CBP officers there. How many things did we see just completely ditched on the ground that were brand new? I mean, I found a brand new 6-pack of Tecate.
Hey,
and
right.
it was strange, right?
I want to bring in someone. April, we're going to make you stay on with us. You're now a part of this show, by the way. Barbara, yes, we are a Fox News affiliate, and yes, I say Trump. I am a Trump supporter. I defend Trump every single day on my radio show from 6 a.m. to 9. Download the Xtra 106.3 app. This is Zeta. Zeta wants to talk about some of her experience. Zeta, how are you?
Fine. I want to express my opinion in regards to the border that you guys are talking about, the migrants.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, you see, I live by the border. I am Mexican, actually.
Okay.
I'm a legal immigrant. Well, you guys doesn't seem like you know what you are talking about. These people pay money to the smugglers to bring them to the U.S. The reason they were crying, probably thinking about the welfare they are getting, because immediately when they enter the United States, they qualify for 7 years of welfare.
Yeah.
These people are not suffering in the country. They just simply came because Biden gave them a free ride. I am a legal immigrant, and I petitioned my family. They have been waiting in line for 11 years.
11 years.
And I have proved financial independence for them and for myself. I have paid a lot of money, and they are still waiting 11 years in line to come here legally.
Okay.
These people are coming because they are being invited.
All right, Zeta, hold on for me. So, yeah, you're right. So you were here legally. So isn't it very insulting that you did everything you were supposed to do? Now, when you got here, while you were getting legal, did the government help you out in a responsible way?
Never. When I apply to come here, no, absolutely not. When you apply to come here legally and you have getting any welfare or anything, you don't qualify for a green card.
Exactly.
When I apply for a green card, I remain in my country and I waited for my turn. After they called me, I proved that I was financially independent. I was going to bring money with me. I have some kind of education to come and do something here. These people don't have any education. The only thing the reason I come is because they are giving them money. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. They hate this country. They hate the culture. They don't like white people. They don't like your government. They just like your money. That's all they want.
Wow.
And they come by bunches every night. Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's stopping them. I don't know what this woman is talking about, because these people are coming from everywhere they can. And the Border Patrol, basically what they do when they cross, especially in El Paso, Texas, when they cross the border, they just give them a package. And with that package, they can claim asylum. That's all they have to say, asylum, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, Zeta, no, April was just saying, and I'll let April talk about this, but one of the things she was saying was we have, and I was saying we have every right to feel that way because there are a lot of women and who do want better lives. There are people who are coming illegally.
Women who get pregnant and they come and dump the kids here.
Right.
That's why they come here. They will never come if you don't give them money. I'm Mexican.
Right.
I was born in Mexico. I know what I'm talking about.
No, we agree with you.
You get pregnant, you come here because they're going to get money. They don't like you. I don't understand why you guys feel sorry for some people that they despise you. They don't like your culture. They call you perverts. They call you gringos, white trash. They come here just because you give them money. You know how upset I am about this stupid thing of the illegal immigration?
Yeah.
It's so unfair. It's like a slap in the face for me.
It's a slap in the face for all of America. I mean, we had for 4 years a president that tried to actually put a little bit of a stop to it. And I can tell you, after...
they were calling him racist. And you know who was calling him racist? Hispanics.
Right.
They were calling him racist. White supremacists.
Yeah.
But Zeta, thank you so much for the call. Go ahead, April. No, I want you to talk. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me just say, number one, thank you for calling in. Number two, I agree with you 100%. What I was saying earlier is I'm a journalist and I'm a writer. And so describing where we were at and what we were seeing, the emotion that was in the air, that is one thing. And that's exactly what we saw, the people coming across, dropping their belongings. The anger behind illegal immigration, I am there with you 100%. I'm a native Texan. I live in Texas. And even up in Central Texas where I'm at, yesterday, we had a bailout with 6 illegal immigrants that took off running, probably 20 miles from me. So I agree with you 100%. I apologize if you took what I was saying in the wrong way. I was just explaining what we were seeing, which was overwhelming and absolutely worse than what the media is portraying.
Yes, I know. And I'm sorry if I misinterpreted
Zeta, listen.
words.
Yeah, Zeta,
okay.
you don't have to apologize because the passion behind that, and it's great to hear someone who came here illegally, and listen to me. I'll be the first one to say, thank God you're here. Thank God you came here for the right reason. Thank God you came here and did what you were supposed to do. And I'm so glad you're a part of our society, and I'm glad for your passion, and I'm glad for your anger because you're right. People don't understand this, Zeta. They don't understand the people that are really coming across the border are not the same as someone who came like you for a better life here.
Listen, here's one of the things, if I can interject here real quick, Zeta, this is Adam.
You cannot,
I wanted
Adam.
to say this really quick. What was the most heartbreaking thing, and I'm sure you can appreciate this, is two things. Let me tell you this, is that and I understand your point and the anger behind you, I'm with you 100%, because when I asked every single person that came across that river, I asked them, where were they from? That was the question, ¿de dónde eres? And the answer was always Venezuela. When you and I know, after looking through the pockets of the clothes that these people left behind, they weren't from Venezuela. Most of them were not from Venezuela. They know that if they say they're from Venezuela, that Vice President Kamala Harris will keep them here under temporary protective status. That's why they all say Venezuela. But the reality is they're coming from El Salvador. They're coming from Guatemala. You maybe had 4 of every 100 people or 10 of every 100 people from Venezuela. But a majority of these people, they were not from Venezuela. Here's the second thing, is that this is the most heartbreaking thing that I saw the entire time I was down there. The amount of young children, 6 months old, 12 months old, 18 months old, 5 years old, 9 years old, 12 years old. This was an extremely heartbreaking thing to watch and to not know whether these kids were going to make it. These people come across that river. It's not an easy trek. It is a dangerous river, and to put your children's lives at risk to come across like that when you really didn't need it, I'm with you. I'm with you angrily 100%, and I think Border Patrol is in agreement with me too.
Because they're going to make money out of it, and not all the border has a river. Where I come from, there is not even a river. You can just walk. Okay, and what they do, they drop their documents, they break them because they are community organizers who go to Mexico, paid by the Democrat Party to tell them what to do. So when they are coming close to the border, they burn the documents and they claim they are asylum. They can say, I'm from this country. There is no way to prove who are they. And that's it. This is not going to end. And people, when you feel sorry for them, they won't feel sorry for you when they take over your country. They make it like a shithole, like the old Latin America, because that's what's going to happen. And there is a lot of people like me who think like me, but we never have a voice.
Yeah, Zeta, thank you so much. I got to let you go. You're amazing. You know, we need to make a clip out of that, guys. That was amazing. And Zeta's right. Listen, they come here. They want to make this a shithole. They don't like being here. The coyotes don't care. The cartel doesn't care. They have one thing in their mind, and that's to get as many people across that they can help facilitate their plans, which is usually drugs and weapons and continually bringing things across the building.
Oh, one thing that I don't think we've said on air or in print yet, but before every group came across the river, there was gunshot. And they came from different locations on the Mexican side and different calibers. And so, we're sitting there trying to figure out why the gunshot, if it was communication or if it was to scare people or why. And it was just really eerie.
Yeah. Well, April, we're going to wrap it up. Adam's getting tired. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for everything that you do for us. Thanks for going to the border. Thank you for everything you do for everybody at Citizen Stringer, including Steve Oatley. I know that he doesn't appreciate you as much. Actually, he probably does. He loves you.
He's like, April's his crutch. He wouldn't be able to survive.
None of us would be able to do any of this without you and without the entire crew and all of our mods. You know, Nanner Nose and everybody that's picked up, Yeedy McEaterson. Kev. All of you. Yeah, Kev. All of you.
Everybody. I'm forgetting a dozen names. Sparkling One. Everybody. Appreciate all of you guys. Here's the thing I wanted to touch on really quick before we
All right, we're hanging up on you, April. Goodbye.
Bye, April.
Thank you. Bye.
One of the things I want to touch on before we go is that the reason we went down to the border is because we want to expose what's really happening down there and tell you the story that you're not hearing everywhere else. This is an amazing feature that we're going to have. We have footage from Sheriff Coe. He's the sheriff of Kinney County out there. We have dash cam footage of recent arrests that he's been making, of the work that they've been doing down there. We have footage of me, myself, and I, along with Lauren and April, down there literally standing 5 feet from the Rio Grande as migrants come across. We want to show you what's happening, just how open this border is. We're going to show you in that video presentation the border wall, the holes and the gaps in the border wall, the parts of the border wall that Joe Biden says we don't need.
Yeah.
The miles long where it's not
We don't need
them. We don't need it.
Listen, of course they don't. When you get $450,000 if you get separated, we don't need walls. Bring them in.
Sounds great.
Let's get them voter cards.
Sounds great. And you know what? That's exactly why our last caller was as upset as she was, is because look at the way these illegal immigrants are being treated. They're being treated way better than anyone who tries to come here legally. She said that it took her 11 years to get here. Listen, I can understand what it's like to take 11 years to get here. My wife being an immigration attorney, I get that. Yeah. I get it 100%. Listen, they're not the only story. I know a good friend of mine, he and his wife, he is a U.S. citizen, his wife a Mexican national. They have been trying to come here legally to get her citizenship for 7 years. After 6 years of trying to do it the legal way, you know what happened? The United States government told them that they had a fraudulent marriage, even though they're both Mexican, even though she's a Mexican national, even though he's an American citizen that's currently living down there in Mexico every day, commuting to the United States to come to work every single day. And this is what we're up against. And you know who runs this system? You know who developed this awfully broke system? The Democrats. The Democrats are who did it. Do you think there's anything that good that comes out of the government being ran? Look at Social Security. Look at Medicare. Look at the fucking post office, dude. Not a single thing in this country that is government subsidized runs well. And we, the American people, for some reason, keep giving the government the keys to entities that we should be running as private entities to make sure that they run efficiently. Listen, I'm not saying that immigration should be private. Here's what I am saying is that our democratic government has completely botched the process for you if you want to come in here legally. Period.
Yeah. Are you done?
I'm done.
All right.
I'm done.
Yeah, it was funny because, I'm going to play. You want to hear a promo that's running on our station?
Yeah.
You want to hear me flip out?
Yeah.
This was me losing my mind because we were talking about Stacey Abrams. This is why I lose my voice a lot. I'm pretty passionate, but, I do get upset. I didn't lose my voice from yelling about Kyle Rittenhouse verdict, although I was very excited to hear that we finally got one right. But, listen, this is the promo that we run about me because I have a war going on with Stacey Abrams.
Wake up with the Morning Extra 6 to 9 with Zinno, Tug, and Rhino.
Stacey Abrams has no business being in the state of Georgia. She'd rather be in California. She'd rather be in Virginia. She'd rather be in Texas. She'd rather continue on this big lie that voter integrity is actually suppression. She is out of her mind. She's disgusting. She can't even talk about something that's going on in her own state. She has to have a mouthpiece do it for her. Go away. We don't want you here. Nobody wants you here. That's the reason you didn't get elected the first time, and it's the reason you won't get elected again. Sit out, go back to California, work on your little national politics. We all know you want to be president. You don't want to be the governor, and when you fail again at becoming the governor, your entire political... You know what? I take it back. Come back, lose the governor's race, and then end your political career.
Stream the Morning Extra. Download the Xtra 106.3 app for Apple or Android.
Yeah, I'm like, come away. Wait, what am I talking about? Come back and lose it. We don't want you in politics at all anymore.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Wait, never mind. Take all that back.
I got all this great stuff. Take it back. Come back here and run and lose again. So, yeah, listen, we're going to wrap it up. I know that we're both a little tired. I'm losing my voice. I do appreciate everybody. Listen, if you haven't gone, I need to get to 1,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, the Xtra 106.3 in Atlanta. You've got to tell everybody, please. I need you to check in. I need you to view it for a few minutes. I need you to take a look at it, get the views, even after we go off the air. Help me get those numbers up. Pass it around. Get it up to 1,000, please. I need you to get to 1,000 subscribers for me on the Xtra 106.3 Atlanta. You'll see us broadcasting live right now. Head over there right now and go ahead, subscribe, watch it for a few minutes, get those numbers up, make a few comments. Don't care, whatever you need to do, but I need your help with that. So I do appreciate every single one of you, all of you. It starts here, and that's what we're doing. We're doing it with Citizen Stringer. We're becoming part of the mainstream because there's not a conservative voice out there like ours. There's never a conservative voice out there like ours. And we're getting silenced at every aspect. But they've allowed me and they've brought me in to bring this station to the next level, to get the conservative voices out there. Voices like ours. Voices that need to be heard because we are being silenced. And now we have a radio station in Atlanta that supports us. It's a great station. Download the app, Xtra 106.3 as well. Go and download the app right now because besides getting the wonderful and amazing Rhino, your friend, the one who loves you, every morning, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 on our app, you can also get with that app. You get the Glenn Beck program right after my show. You get Clay Travis and Buck Sexton who took over for Rush. Thereafter, Glenn Beck. Then after him, we have the Guy Benson show, Jesse Kelly show. Then we have Jimmy Fallon overnight. We have a fantastic lineup, so help me out in any way you can, guys.
My favorite show.
Yeah.
My favorite show comes on after Jimmy Fallon.
Yes, Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast.
The kids call it the Coast.
It's Coast now. But
it's just Coast.
But dude, I was listening last night, bro. Yeah. Oh man, they were talking about how there was a guy was traveling in a car, and it was during a really bad rainstorm, and he was about 6 years old, and he was knocking on the window of the car.
Yeah.
And a ghost was outside and was knocking back. Awesome. Well, and for the first few minutes, he was following and mimicking his knock, right? But when he told his mom about it and got her to pay attention, it came back and it did 3 series of knocks like that.
Yeah.
And he said that when, he's telling his story, and he said when that happened, it happened like 5 times. His mom freaked out, almost crashed the car in the middle of this rainstorm because it was so scary. She slammed on the gas and tried to get away from the ghost. Anyway, great show.
Yeah,
I've listened to it for years, decades probably. I've listened to it late night on the radio. So if you've never listened to it, it's definitely a little bit interesting on the mind.
Yeah, so also I want to say hello to Dem Lady Eggnog, eggnog, all of you. I love you all. I love you all so much. April, thank you so much for joining us today.
Sergeant Tripod.
To Kevin, Sergeant Tripod. You're amazing, dude.
Everybody.
Yeah, all of you guys. Did I forget anybody else who was on here? Yeet.
Y'all said, I'm sure it's on Twitch. Bionic Mima on Twitch, Great Grandma of 7, all of you guys over on Twitch, thank you so much. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. I'm not sure what this week is going to look like as far as Thanksgiving goes, whether I'll be live or not. I'm going to touch base with you guys a couple times. We're going to keep our eyes on what's going on the streets and the ground all across America. We've got people, cameras, and video cameras and phones out there, making sure that we keep the destruction down to a minimum.
We're going to do this more.
We're going to do it more.
We can take these phone calls. I'm surprised more people didn't call in.
Yeah, we'll do. You know what? We'll do it. Definitely coming back from Thanksgiving break. Following Monday, we'll try and put a show together.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to Florida.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go down to Florida.
You're going down to Florida this week?
Yeah, I'm going to go Wednesday.
Nice. Very nice. Well, I know your parents will be very thrilled to see you. Maybe what we'll do is when you're...
wait. She go, why don't you bring Adam with you?
I'm sure she did say that.
Come.
Adam should come. He can bring the baby.
He'll bring the baby.
He
doesn't have to bring JC if she doesn't want to come.
Right.
Would you like to go to our friend's house? There's a nice Jewish yoga instructor.
She's very sweet and flexible.
Adam and I are pretty much married. We're married.
Yeah.
We're married.
But she's very flexible.
She's Jewish.
Oh, my God.
She's very flexible. I saw her one day put her feet behind her ears. Okay, Mom, you got me.
I'll go meet her. Yes,
fine.
I'm coming down there. Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, thank you guys all for tuning in. We will see you at some point this week. You know what? Maybe we'll do a little call-in special. Get Ann Reinhold on the phone with us. We'll get her on and capture some good moments with her.
Should we call her?
Yeah, why not?
Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it.
You know she's going to be so mad that you call her.
Shh, don't tell her.
Jack's probably listening. The boys are about to call you.
Hello?
Hi. It's your son.
It is?
Yeah.
What number?
And Adam. Adam, say hi to Mom.
Hi.
Hi, Adam, my huggy, lovey bear.
How are you?
Listen, Huggy Lovey Bear, myself, and you are live on our show right now.
Okay, that's fun.
Oh, there's Dad. Dad's with her, too.
Oh, yes. It's a party now.
It is a party. We're partying.
I miss you.
I miss you, too.
Well, when am I going to see? I was just talking to Scott. Mateo's great. I was talking to Scott. He said he was going to come down and see you for Thanksgiving. I got really upset because he didn't tell me that he was coming down there until just now.
Well, you can come, too, with Mateo and your wife. And
she forgot her name. She forgot JC's name.
Yeah, but we're allowed to forget.
Yeah, you guys are allowed to forget. You're allowed to forget. That's fine. Well, we'll see. Maybe I can convince JC to come down there. We'll have to see what I can do.
Mom, you need to say hi to everybody because they have been begging me to get you on the air. So tell everybody hello and whatever you want to say to them. Tell them how much you love Biden too.
Oh gosh, yes, First of all, hello everyone. I love that my son is on air. I support everything that he mostly says.
Mostly? Why? What are some of the things I say that you don't like?
To tell everyone that I love Biden.
Oh, okay. Well, they know I was being sarcastic.
Okay, well, it starts and ends somewhere. Anyway, I think everyone's entitled to an opinion, just not his, because I don't believe his opinions are correct. But other than that, life goes on. I have a belief that our country will straighten itself out because I think that people are tired of being told what to do, how to do it, and that they're going to be self-learners.
Look at you.
You're
doing so well.
Why don't we have her on as a regular contributor?
Listen,
that was perfect.
She's afraid that she's not going to sound good. She's afraid she's not going to do great. Mom, you're fantastic.
She's one of the best guests we've had. You're the best person we had on the phone all day.
Well, I'm so glad to hear that.
Where are you guys going? Costco?
We're going
Publix.
home to make chicken cutlet parmesan for neighbors and friends.
Oh, my God. That sounds great.
That sounds good. All right, I'm going to let you go. I love you. I'll call you later, okay?
I love you. I'll see you guys hopefully very soon.
Okay, hon. Take care.
You too.
All right, bye.
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 There we go. We finally got her on.
God, great. So great. She, like I said, we need to have her on regularly because she just made the best points about Biden, that period.
I mean, at least listen, I'm glad that people realize now that our impressions of my mother are real. That's exactly my mom. I don't like that you told me Biden is that's my mother.
Oh,
I love her.
I love her too. She's a
fantastic.
great mother, fantastic woman. We gotta get her in the studio one day. Well, next time they're in town, we'll have them up here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a great day.
Oh, God. You should see my mom when she drinks a little.
Oh, you
have. I mean, everybody else. We should get her drunk. We should play a drinking game up here with her.
Up here with her. Oh, God. Your dad will be so mad. He'll be just waiting in the car for her.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, all right, I'm going to go wait in the car. You guys do whatever you're doing.
My dad will just be like, you know what? I'll go watch golf in the sports bar.
There's a sports bar across the street?
Yeah, there's a
They got
sports bar.
the golf channel?
Listen, the good thing about this place is, we have one of the best offices and probably radio stations, maybe in all of Atlanta. Our radio station is huge. It's amazing. We have the whole corner of the Battery. We are the Braves radio network as well, so we get the Braves stuff. So it's been fantastic being here. I love being here.
I'll tell you what, I've never...
And my boss lets us drink wherever we want. I'm so surprised that
everybody in the building just drinks
let me tell
wherever they want. I mean, I don't know. You Thursday afternoon at 3:30, you can go down the elevator. You got a 75% chance you'll run into somebody who says, "Hey, you want a drink?" or "Hey, are you going to get a drink?" or "Hey, can you get me a drink?"
Listen to this. Okay, so right after the Braves were playing here, we had a big party, and we had tons of alcohol. And it was the last night, I think it was the night we were here, right?
Was that Sunday? That was Sunday. No.
It was Sunday. The Sunday night that they were supposed to clinch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we were here. Yes.
And then Monday, was the next day. So we had a huge party here, a watch party for everyone, and we can see the stadium from our offices. And so we were having this huge watch party and watching everybody. And we had clients come up, so we got tons of alcohol. One of my friends and somebody who I've known for 25 years, I was actually interviewing him when he was an Atlanta Falcon, is Brian Finneran. He was a wide receiver. Well, he stayed up all night. Started here at the party, went home. His wife fell asleep at 9:30. He got up and came, went over to some friend's house, got hammered, drove to work because he knew there's no way I'm going to get up in the morning if I go to sleep at the house. So he came here and he slept on our couch in our studio. Now, they do the show down the hall. So I walk in, scares the heck out of me. He's sitting there. He's 6'4", 6'5". He's huge. He used to play basketball for Villanova. And he's drunk, so I tell him, you got to come on. And he's still hung over from it. Nobody cares. They literally got up at 6 o'clock before the show. Everybody was walking in because all the alcohol was still out from the party before. And everybody's just pouring beers and pouring whiskey and all that.
Hair of the dog, man.
He comes on and I'm asking him, I don't even remember what the question was, but listen to his response. And I was like, oh my God, I got to get this.
I've seen it all and I've done it all and I've been with guys.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Wait.
Say that again?
I've seen it all, and I've done it all, and I've been with guys.
This was one of the, because we're asking, have you ever seen anything like this? Have you ever seen just madness in the Battery? And he was going on to say, I've
seen it all, and I've done it all, and I've been with guys.
And of course he said,
I mean, you can't get
he was going to keep going on, but I had to cut it at that point. So of course that's a lot of fun, and that's the fun we have. All right, we got to get going. Our batteries are dying. We weren't really prepared to go for this much time. We were supposed to be on from 12 to 1. It's now 2:45, so we've gone a little bit extra, but we'll do it again, guys. Thanks again. One thing I need to say, and I want to say this because Steve says it, and it's very important, and I want to say it for my friend and my best friend, and really my brother Adam. I appreciate everything you do, bro. I appreciate the fact that you sacrifice your time from your family and your son Mateo, and you go out to these events and you risk your life. And the fact that you have to wear body armor while carrying a camera is always so scary to me. And I tell you every time, whether it's the border or a protest, how much I'm thankful and how to be safe. And I want all of you to keep him safe and to keep him doing this and to recognize the fact that he's doing this for the good of all. And whatever you can do to donate to Freedom Flashpoint, whether it is a Super Chat or Facebook Stars or whatever other, go to freedomflashpoint.com. Find a way to donate and help him continue, because he doesn't use his money on drugs. He doesn't use his money on alcohol. He does this and buys equipment out of his own pocket. He pays for his own plane trips. He pays, and so does Steve. So it is so important. And BCP and all the others, and even Tara and all of them.
Oh yeah, Tara's out there. I mean, we're all of us. We're all self-funded, and it's and I'm not gonna plead for anybody to donate money to me right this second, but thank you all for all of your support. When I was out there, I felt the support of so many people.
Well, I'm gonna plead for you, so help him out, please, because it is a stress on his pocket, and every day. And I'll be honest with you, some days we don't even know if we can have a beer because we can only, I'm gonna be honest with you. He puts a lot into this. Him and Steve rented the studio downstairs for me. All these video equipment, all of this is Adam's, and he bought it with his own money. So anything you can do to help, anything you can do to help Steve, that's what they're doing. They're bringing us real news. April, all of them. They are such big helps to all of us. So I do appreciate them, and I appreciate you guys taking care of them. And whatever you can go do, freedomflashpoint.com, Super Chats, any way you can help out, because we are being banned. We are being shadow banned. We are being taken off. It happens to Xtra 106.3. Listen, we are a legitimate news organization that has been around for 25 years, who, when we switched over to News and Talk, were taken off of Twitter. Our verified mark will not get on because they don't believe in the conservative right to be on Twitter. The same thing happens, and we're a major news organization, so imagine what they do to Steve. Imagine what they do. And they've created Citizen Stringer, and they've taken their money out of their pockets to do it and do it right. And finally, we're getting voices out there. Finally, I'm on a radio station, a mainstream radio station, every day from 6 a.m. to 9. And you know how I think. You know what I think. You know what I do. And we're getting back in there. But we need your help, and we need to continue help. So keep going. Mark Levin will have Donald Trump on tonight at 8 p.m. That's great. I want to hear from that. His book is great, too, by the way.
Yeah, that'll be on Fox tonight, 8 p.m. I know I'll be watching that. And then tomorrow night on Fox, Tucker Carlson is going to have on Kyle Rittenhouse.
It's okay with me.
I probably won't be doing anything live until I see that show of Kyle Rittenhouse on Tucker. And then what I'll probably do is I'll probably go live after Tucker is live with Rittenhouse to give my reaction to that interview.
Wow. Okay, that sounds a lot. Man, I'd love that. I might go live with you.
Cool. Yeah,
I'm hoping to get in more.
Well, yeah. But we'll see what you got going on this week for Thanksgiving, and when we come back from Thanksgiving next week, we can kind of try to get back into a groove of doing some stuff, at least until the end of the year. I know with holidays, it's always tough, with me, myself, having a young child, you having a child, it's always rough for all of us to get all this stuff done. And you're working for a radio station, I'm working for a news station. We're both putting in,
it's funny how this all started. I mean, I guess we said we were going to go off at 2:30. It's now 2:49. Can we go till 3 o'clock?
I don't know,
we might as well. So if you want to call in, you can still call in 404-741-1230. But it's funny how this all started, and I just kind of want to tell, because I have been in radio for 25 years. I've mostly done sports, but when I grew up in New York, one of the things I fell in love with was, in all honesty, Donald Trump. And the reason I fell in love with Donald Trump wasn't because of his politics or anything else, but because he was a person in New York, a person who was never afraid, who wore a pink tie everywhere he went, or if it was a suit, tuxedo, he wore a pink cummerbund and all of that. And when it came time for my mom to tell me that I had to get a bar mitzvah, she asked me what I wanted. I said, you know what, I'll take a pink tie and a pink cummerbund and all that. Like, if I'm going to have to do this, I'm going to have to do this. Like, let's do this. I'll wear it to temple. I'll wear it to church. I went to every little, listen, I'm mixed, so I had to go to all this stuff and make my mom happy. I had to do this stuff, right? So, but I love Donald Trump, and I got Art of the Deal, and I read it, and I saved up all my allowance money. I worked from the time I was 12, whether it was delivering newspapers or working illegally in restaurants, whatever it was. I fell in love with Donald Trump, and politics was a huge thing. And Adam and I, we were doing a comedy show, and we were getting back into radio, and I wanted to do a radio show, and I couldn't think of anybody better because Adam does the best traffic reports, real or fake, than any other. And he has this thing where he fell in love, and there's a good read with her Captain Herb
Emery, rest in peace.
Yeah, and Adam still does the traffic reports, and they're amazing. And I said, Adam, you got to come do this with me.
For that $5 super chat.
Yeah, guys, thank everybody for those super chats. I think Ethel earlier gave us $10. Everybody who's helped us out. But Adam and I started, and we took it serious. And we had some other guys that I did radio with. A really funny guy named Ryan, AJ Cannon, who did it, and he's very far left. And we asked him to be a part of this.
Furthest left.
And he refused to be a part of this. He didn't want to do it, and that's fine, and we understood that. But we kept going with it, and then we evolved it. And eventually we just separated from the other guys where we were doing more comedy and silly things. And we should bring back hashtag this. We should bring back some of the things we did.
Hashtag this was a great segment.
Yeah, we did hashtag this where we'd come up with a hashtag, like hashtag Rittenhouse, and then we'd have a funny comment about it and come up with funny things about it. And we just decided that we gotta become more mainstream and do more things, and just we weren't getting paid and we didn't have any money and we were struggling through life, and this was our opportunity, and it's grown to where it is today, and we want to keep growing it because we were getting silenced, we were getting kicked off all these social media platforms. So it's amazing what we've come for because we worked in restaurants together, we've been best friends for a long time, we've done a lot of crazy things together, but the one thing that we've always agreed upon and the one thing we always talked about is what can we do to make this country better? What can we do to get the voice out there, because people aren't being heard. People who are conservative, people who are on the right side, they're not getting heard. And the more and more we look at this, and the more and more we see what's going on in this country, the more backwards we're going. Adam said it before, and I'm sorry this turned into a monologue, but it is. Adam said it before. This entire movement has set us back because it's become a segregation of society, a division. And as much as they want to blame division on Donald Trump, the only division really is coming out of the mouths of people like President Joe Biden, out of Jen Psaki, out of people like Cori Bush, out of people like AOC. Think about what she says. Think about the things she says. Look at the way she cries about Israel and hates Jews. Like, that is such a weird, the fact that the president of the United States, this is our president, this is our guy, he is an idiot, he is completely out of his mind, and he doesn't even know what he's doing in office, and he goes out there and says things like this.
The great Negro.
He has no concept of what's going on, and what black people are doing is they're segregating. They want their own national anthem to be played. Why? We're one country. We should all be fighting for the same thing. We should be fighting for what God has given us, the right to, everything that we have in this country is based on God-given rights. That's what's great about this country. It was never said about what color skin. Have we messed up in the past? Yeah, but we've all learned from that. And you know what we need to learn? What we need to learn is stop blaming someone else. The one thing, about growing up Jewish with my mother and learning from my mom and her side of the family and listening to what they had to say and watching what they've done. They're the most oppressed people in the history of this world. The most oppressed. But we don't go and say, hey, you know what? We need to rip down the pyramids of Egypt. We need to take them down because they were built on the back of Jewish slavery. You know what the Jews did after World War II? After 6 million of them were extinguished? They said this will never happen again. We're going back. We're taking the land that God gave us back. And we're going to go there. And we're going to protect ourselves. And we're going to build our military. We're going to educate our children. We're going to make sure our children are always safe. We're going to make sure that we go into fields that we will know that we will always be safe in. Whether it was being a doctor, and education is so important. Whether you want to be a dentist or even go into liberal Hollywood as Jews. Jews should never be liberal, because one thing that we've done is we've always put being a father, being a mother, taking care of our children, teaching our children these things, teaching our children to go to school, get educated, and make money, and don't allow anyone to take anything away from you. Always fight to live. We overcame that. And the black people of this country have the same right. They have every right to go out there and be upset. They should be saying, close those borders. Help us instead. Help us get on the right foot. Instead of paying people who are here illegally, help us get back. But we're going to do our own thing in our own community, and we're going to stop segregating because we have the opportunity in America to become great citizens. We have the opportunity in America to make money. No one is holding us back. We have different skills. We bring beautiful music to this world. We bring beautiful dances to this world. We bring beautiful acting. We bring beautiful sports and athletes to this world, and we can make a difference. But we can also be great lawyers. We can be great doctors. We can stay home and teach our children to be great citizens. We can stop blaming the police because our child went out of the house. Our child, Jacob, went out of the house with a knife after being assaulting to his wife or mother of his children, after walking outside and being tased twice and still fighting police instead of stop blaming the wrong people. Go and look at the educated people of this country, the people who have been there for their children. It's easy for you to do. Stop making an excuse. Go out there. Make your own money. You have every right in this country. You have every right. And no one is keeping you from voting. No one is keeping you from getting an ID. No one is keeping you from getting a job. No one is keeping you from working hard. And no one is keeping you from being a responsible father and teaching your children to change the way everything is done for your people of this country. I'm getting off my soapbox. I'm going to answer this phone. Let's see who it is. Who's this? Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Who's this?
Hi, this is Jason in Kenosha. I was calling into the show.
Jason, great. All right, Kenosha. So tell me right now, what's going on? We only got a few minutes left, but what's going on in Kenosha? Has it calmed down?
Okay,
good.
It's all over. It's all over here. Nobody's around.
They all went to Chicago.
It's good. Chicago, there was some looting. There was Neiman Marcus was robbed, and a few other high-profile retail stores down in the Chicago downtown area where they call it the Miracle Mile. That was attacked.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot, too. So I want to get a perspective from you. How long have you lived in Kenosha?
Well, I've lived in the area. I'm outside of the city limits. I'm very just outside. I've been here most of my life.
Okay.
Came to this country when I was 10 from Germany.
Okay.
And I'm not an army brat. I'm an immigrant.
Gotcha.
But and I know some folks in the area that were affected by this thing.
Okay, and that's what I want to ask you about because, go back to the 3 nights before, even August 25th. I mean, what was the mood there? What were the people, were they, think about what those poor people went through, the residents of that area.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize it was happening. We were warned a week in advance. They knew this was coming. They knew the people were coming, they being the government. They didn't do much about it. There was warnings, but they came on your phone. They're like when you get an Amber Alert. And I think a lot of people just, didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
You got lives to live. The first night was a surprise for a lot of people.
Yep.
They came in, started burning things right away. A lot of events will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation about that. Somebody wanted to hear the stories, but they also wanted proof of the stories.
Right.
Perfectly reasonable. But thanks to media suppression and, people looking in certain directions with Kyle, they didn't hear, and you'll never hear, the stories of other people and the other conflicts that occurred around the town.
Yeah.
There was other shootings. Nobody was hit, but there was people shooting each other. They tried to do drive-bys on us on Sunday night. I think a lot of people don't realize it lasted 4 days.
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people don't. And where were the police? Where was the National Guard? Who was taking care of the people and the community?
Well, the thing so here's what happened with the police. The Kenosha Police Department evaporated by 7 p.m. first night.
Right.
Scanners came on. These guys started saying, "We're not doing anything. Everybody's got a gun. We're staying away." The terrorists used chemicals. They put bleach and animal feces inside balloons and other Clorox and stuff like that, and threw it at cops. They backed away. When you see police in the videos, that's the county sheriffs, and all they did was guard the courthouse. The National Guard didn't do anything. They sat on the highway. They closed off the city. They wouldn't let anybody in or out. But they never did anything till the final night when they swept through, and all they really did was hassle live streamers.
Yeah.
They didn't stop a thing.
No, they didn't stop a thing. So, and that's where it's got weird with everybody, because everybody's like, well, why are people taking to the streets with AR-15s? And why? Nobody else is protecting that neighborhood. You're coming in and destroying you're being treated as peaceful protesters, but there wasn't one night of peaceful protesting.
No, they went right off the bat. They would go in certain groups. We followed. I have been following the riots myself through the internet and talking to certain people that were streamers. And there was a group, the most dangerous group, showed up with ATVs that they harassed people, drove through their yards, some shooting weapons, just to scare people up into the air. They were the ones that had all the chemical weapons and the firearms and the shields that they use and all that.
That's amazing.
Some of them stayed here, showed up from Chicago and stayed in the area like it was a vacation, and then came in caravan to Kenosha to attack it.
That's amazing.
I live in an area where I know people were involved.
Yeah.
But I can't prove it. No one would listen to me even if I did.
No, because then exactly. Hey, I want to thank you for your call. We got to wrap up the show. Thank you so much for calling. Thanks for being a watcher, and thanks for, subscribing and liking. Hopefully you have, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
So, and that's the weird thing. See, they want you to think that this was a peaceful protest, that these people are just walking out with their umbrellas to stop rubber bullets, and that's not what these were. These were fires. So, Adam, once again, thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
We got to sign out.
I'll touch base real quick. We'll just check on traffic real fast. 75 southbound, touch of the brakes on the downtown connector from North Ave down to Freedom Parkway. 75 north at University Parkway, got a HOV lane blocked due to an earlier accident. 85 north at 400 down to Jimmy Carter. We got 2 right lanes blocked due to earlier construction. At 75 north between Mount Perrin Road and Cumberland Boulevard, got 3 right lanes blocked. Use Northside Parkway, Highway 41 north at 285, and expect delays there as well. 316 eastbound and westbound jammed up between Carl Bethlehem Road and Harbins Road, and we're in Winder. And we got paving operations down on Jonesboro Road, Highway 166 between Bluffington Road and Kenwood Road. This traffic report brought to you by PureTruthCoffee.com. Start your day with a cup of truth and defeat the fake news narrative. Visit PureTruthCoffee.com today and get your Black Friday deals. Now, this traffic report brought to you by Citizen Stringer TV.
Yeah! See, that's why.
That's how you do it.
That was like, he did this, he used to call me on the phone when I would just be driving, and I'd say, Adam, I need a traffic report. And that's what he would do, and that's where it all started. Adam, you're amazing. I love you. And you know what we used to do? I used to write all his sponsors for him. Obviously, that one was Pure Coffee. Do you remember the one I did? Do you remember any of them?
Oh, I do. I remember a bunch of them, dude. They were so bad.
What was one of them?
Oh.
How about the airline one?
The hairline one?
No, the airline.
Oh, I don't remember.
So it was one of Malaysian Air. This traffic brought to you by Malaysian Air. Buy one ticket, you don't need one free because we don't return flight. Something like that.
Oh my God, that was good. That was when that flight disappeared.
Yeah, what was the boner one that you couldn't get through?
Oh God, it was
they're still on Rhino Radio. We need to go get some of those.
Scepter. Something about a long scepter.
Oh, the meat scepter.
The meat scepter. Yeah. Oh God.
Are you suffering from a soggy meat scepter? You can buy this drug at any. Yeah. Oh, that was it. It was a penis pill, and I got you with the. So I wrote out, if you're suffering from, and he had no idea. So I would actually hand these to him right before he read them. So he had no idea what was coming.
Never read them.
I never read them.
Cold read.
I would just hand him a piece of paper like this and be like, here you go.
It's like Ron Burgundy. If you put it on the prompter, I will read it. Like, there's no doubt about it. Just hand it to me. I'll read it cold as day. I won't even know what I said until 10 seconds after.
And it goes, this traffic report brought to you by something, penal implants or something penile
like that,
drugs or whatever it was called. And it said, are you suffering from a soggy meat scepter? Well, no longer. You can get it at any gas station. And he couldn't get through soggy meat scepter. It just made him laugh, and he lost his mind. We got to find those on Rhino Radio.
They're somewhere around. We'll find them. Yeah,
we'll get them and we'll play them one day. All right, guys. I'm out of here.
We'll see you guys.
I got to go get some coffee, like everybody's saying.
Coffee and a smoke and all that other good stuff.
Thank
you,
Camo.
Guys. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We'll see you next week. Good night.